Now, Sir Ivan, if you will press this switch over, when I say now, that will open our station. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Right, how's that, guys? I've just changed my... does that mean I have to go through all of that spiel all over again? I do apologise, guys. I think just before I went to work the other day, I did an update on my... I had a Windows update. And so I did the old update and close Windows. And then my computer stays off for about 2 days. And I've come back and all my microphone settings been changed. My screen resolution on one monitor has changed, and it's just all gone funny. Right, so sound is back. Lovely. Bad lip syncing, says James Mower. Right, so before we begin then, so normally I have a 3-monitor setup, and I normally place the ScreenYard on the 3rd monitor because that's where the camera is, because obviously you're going to look at the monitor as you talk. Now, I can't use that screen. It's got really bad. It looks like I'm in 1980 with that screen resolution. So I've put the monitor in the middle screen. So you can see I'm looking at the middle, which means I'm not going to be looking at the camera. So if I'm talking to you guys like that, I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to, but I'll try and remember. But if I'm talking to the camera like this, I can't see the monitor. So if you see me talking this way, but most of the stream, it's going to be down anyway. So secondly, because this is a live stream and it's going to be about 2, maybe 3 hours, I'm going to do little things that I wouldn't do on a pre-recorded, like I'm going to smoke, I'm going to drink, I'm going to eat. And I'm really, really sorry. You know, I love you guys a lot, but I'm not giving up my bad habits for you. Right. So this is my weekly day off streams. So I'm streaming today and tomorrow. I'm currently on night shifts, so I'm doing evening streams. And it's partly to sort of have a nice little stream with you guys, but also to help me, give me something to do at night. Because obviously, as you can imagine, if you're working a big block of night shifts, I'm driving a coach, I need to be awake. If I then sleep at night time on my days off, I've then got to try and readjust to nights when I'm back at work. So I'm trying to keep myself awake all night. I've got plenty to do. And if I did run out of things to do, I've got the PlayStation. And I'll tell you some really, I think, really exciting news regarding PlayStation later on. But so I'm going to be doing a stream tonight and tomorrow. Then I'm back at work for 6 days. And then my next set of streams will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then once I get to the middle of September, when I'm on days, then my streams will probably be 2 in the afternoon. Should we say 2 in the afternoon? Is that a good time for everyone? I know that's a terrible time for the Americans, but obviously I'll be sleeping at night time and I'll be streaming during the day. So the format of the show is just ever so simple. I'm going to be doing some diamond painting. I'm going to have a little chat with you. I'm going to tell you what I've been up to the last 6 days, maybe tell you a couple of funny stories if I have any funny stories. You know how it goes. We just wing it and we just seem to get through somehow. Now, I've also found a feature on StreamYard. If anyone streams with StreamYard, I'm going to be trying something out that I've just discovered, and that's starring comments. One of the things I have a problem with is I'll read all the comments, I do the catch up, and then I let the chat build up, and then I end up losing where I was on the last chat. So I'm thinking about, we'll see if we might not even do anything, but if I star the last comment that I'm up to, when I then let it build up, all I got to do is look for the highlighted comment and then start from there. So, for example, what I'm going to do, I'm highlighting a comment from James Mower that says no sound. Right, so I'll go through the comments properly. But so Dominic, is it Koku, says good evening, Penny. So gold star for Dominic for being the first one to comment today. Then he says no sound. Love Minis. Hi, Love Minis. She says no sound. Mark Fit. Hi, Penny. No. See, now, do you know what? I've just found a trick, haven't I? If you want a lot of comments on your live stream, turn the sound off. And then everyone goes, no sound, no sound. And then you build all the comments up. Right. So there's the comment that I've starred. And yeah, it don't seem to do anything different. Let's see if we've got another. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start this comment. So this is an unstarred comment from Mark Fit. And this is a starred comment from Mark. Doesn't make any difference. But that start, it's I can't really show you the screen, but the starred comment has got a big blue. So yeah, if you're a streamer, star your last comment that you read out and it marks it for you. So you know where to go back, but just remember to unstar it later on. So right, anyway, so no sound coming through, no sound. So Mike Tedstone, hi all, hi Mark, hi Mike. Mark Fit says yep, LOL. Oh God. So Dominic, sound is back. Bad lip syncing. It's like, do you remember that guy from Police Academy? And he used to do the karate films, and he used to go, "Stand where you are," and you know, he used to do the lip syncing and then saying something else like it was dubbed over. So Mike's Ted Stone says, I've just been messing with my settings to try and get sound on before I noticed the messages. Whole 247 models, hi Penny and all in chat. Hello. Mike Tedstone, bad habits. You, Penny, surely not. Yes, I have bad habits, but I like to think I keep, and I'm reducing my bad habits. I think the story of the week is I'm starting to eat better. I'm trying to, when you don't have time to make food and you need to make food, because obviously with me driving a coach overnight, I can't just nip into a shop and buy some fish and chips or whatever for my dinner, and there's no staff canteen. So you got to bring food with you. But ideally, you really need to be taking food for 2 days. Night shift's a little bit easier because you can eat a good meal before you start work. And then that tends to sort of, you manage throughout the night, just bring a few snacks. And then I've got this packed lunch box now. It's like little containers, and it's like 3 containers that all clips together. And what I've started doing is putting something simple like pasta and, salad and chicken or something in one. And then we've got a fridge on our coach, so it sits in the fridge. And then the other container is a little bit of cereal. And then another one is some bits of fruit or something like that. Some kind of healthy snack. And then I might take some snacks with me, like I make a sandwich, for example. And then on the trip down, I put all my lunch in the fridge and in the coach. Don't tell everyone they've got a fridge, because all the customers will want to use it. It's for our use. And we put all our drinks and everything in there. And then when we get into the hotel, obviously I've got this packed lunch box that I've not touched. That goes in the cooler in my hotel room. And then I'm eating that on the trip up. Nip into Sainsbury's, get a pint or 2 pints of milk. So I got milk for my cereal. So I got my cereal before I start work. When we do a night shift, because we get in early morning, we actually have breakfast as though it's an evening meal. So we go to bed on a full stomach. But when we do a day shift, obviously we'll have breakfast before we do our trip back. So most of that packed lunch will probably be eaten on the way down on a day shift. But yeah, then I've got my salad to eat on the way up. And if you buy salads every day, I'm earning better money now, but that's not an excuse to spend money, is it? I keep saying I'm at work to earn money, not to spend it. And if you earn like 50 quid a week extra and you're spending 60 quid, you're not really earning any more money, are you? So I'm trying to just sort of, these pasta salads, these supermarket salads, all they are is a little bit of pasta, a little bit of meat, and maybe a bit of lettuce leaf and something in there. You can make it half the price yourself. So I'm looking at doing that. But yeah, I still smoke. Although I smoke a lot less now. What I've started doing is basically we get to a bus stop and obviously we all want a cigarette. If I was to jump off and have a cigarette, now all the customers want to jump off and have a cigarette. So now you're talking 15 minutes and you only get 5 minutes at the stop. So I'm having to vape so I can jump off, deal with the customers, get them on the coach, 2 or 3 puffs on a vape machine, and then we're back on. But even if I smoke cigarettes, I'm smoking at least half of what I was smoking before. Excuse me one sec, I got hiccups. That's better. Oh, so I'm smoking about half of what I was smoking before. And of course, these vapes are flavored rather than being tobacco flavor. I mean, one I'm using is mango. And if you take a few really good draws on that, the melon flavor kind of sits on the back of your throat for a couple of hours. So it's actually quite pleasant. So I'm now, not only am I smoking less because I've got less opportunity to smoke, but I'm actually smoking something that's better. I still smoke cigarettes when I'm out of work, but yeah, it's kind of, I'm taking baby. I think if you change everything and become super healthy, you get a bit fed up, and you know, you're not allowing yourself the little treats in life. You know, if I said I want to go on a low sugar diet and I cut all chocolate out of my diet, after about a week I'm just going to be like, I need chocolate, and then I'll go and spend 20 quid on chocolate and eat the whole lot every day, you know, in one go. Whereas if I allowed myself half a bar of chocolate every day, then I would cut down, but I would still allow myself some of the bad habits. And now I'm just waffling, aren't I? So James Mower, damn, we're in the 80s. Hands up, who's Donkey Kong? Manic Miner. Oh God, you're bringing back some memories now. Daredevil Dennis, I don't remember that one. Pac-Man, everyone remembers Pac-Man, don't they? Spaceman, or Spaceman did. Spaceman Sid. That rings a bell. Spaceman Sid. James Mower, second time today. Someone showing age. I read the history books, honest. James Mower, hi at Dominic Koku. I need to catch up on a lot of your videos, Dominic, because I have bought, it's on pre-release. I'll try and sort of chat and look at the same time. I'm a little bit worried. Love Minis is about to laugh at this. Love Minis was one of the people who, when I used to stream on Twitch, she would be pushing me outside my comfort zone. And it was scary, but it pushed my skill levels up. And I actually got quite surprised at how, you're your own self, you are your own worst critic. And I'm painting these figures and I'm like, they're all right for tabletop standard, but they're nothing special. And it's people like Love Minis who's pushing me outside my comfort zone. And I think I got to quite a reasonable level. Now, I've not painted figures in a long time. Sorry, bear with me one sec. Okay. Sorry, I thought I saw, there's a figure I painted ages ago. I'll show you this. This is one of the first figures that I did. I don't know if you'll... No, I'll wait till we go camera down because you'll get a better view. But anyway, so I painted a few figures. I think I'm all right. I won't win any prizes in competitions, but I certainly won't come last. Now, I found this figure on... It's pre-release, and I'm going to have to find it on Facebook. So it's going to take me a little while to find, but it's basically, these are the sort of size figures that I paint, Warhammer, Fantasy Battle, that kind of thing. I've just had a message from Mike Tedstone says, no sound, but it was timed 16 minutes ago. Model kits for less. Sorry, bear with me. Medusa. There we are. Right. So this figure is due for release in the new year. And I've bought it. There we go. That's the figure. And that looks absolutely amazing. Now that figure is £400, £410. The reason it's £400 is it's a 30 centimeter figure. It's the biggest thing I'll have ever painted. And it's because it's £400, you've got this natural, oh my God, what if I cock it up? But if you don't do it, I mean, look at the details on it. See if I can get that a little bit bigger. No, I can't. We know tricks. Let's open that in a new tab. There we go. I mean, look, the detail on that is absolutely amazing. And, you know, if you break that down into individual components, you know, if you look at the whole figure and you think, oh my God, that's really hard. But if you look at the individual components, you know, look, there's the reptile part there, right? And then there's the skin, there's the bow, there's the arrow, there's the hair. And you look at each technique that you use for each area, it suddenly becomes a lot simpler. Fire, I'm actually, without blowing me on trumpet, I think I'm pretty good at fire. But it does have a £400 price tag, and you kind of think, oh my God, what if I mess it up? And I think that's a natural thing to say anyway. But yeah, but it's also the size of it. You know, if that's the figure that I'm used to doing, a 30 centimeter figure is that big. So it's something I've never done before. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But that's not coming till the new year anyway, and it's quite good because this, where I'm getting it from, they have like a savings plan, and I just save so many pounds each week. So I'm not anywhere close to being able to paying that off. But by the time the new year comes, I will have done. So James Mower, Mike Tedstone, yep. James Mower, best time to have been a kid. Yeah, I totally agree with that. The 80s, 80s and 90s. I'm going to be honest with you. I look at the kids today and I just think you ain't got a clue, have you? You know, we used to eat. Do you remember the government warning videos? Charlie and his cat. And it's like he's about to go and play with electrical pylons, and suddenly this cat goes, and he's like, Charlie says, don't go and play with electric pylons. But that's what you did, you know. In that day and age, you did something, you had a consequence, and you went, oh, that was stupid, I won't do that again. These days, you have to have a safety warning on it. So... Right, James Moore. Michael Winslow, the man of 10,000 sound effects. That's the one. And then Loveman, he says, quit and smoking was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Yeah, I keep trying to give up smoking, but I think maybe if I replace it with something, that might be a better idea. So, right. So you'll notice in the corner, it says Smith's Beads. That's because Smith's Beads have very kindly sponsored my diamond painting shows, for which I am eternally grateful. If I say anything about Smith's Beads, please understand I'm not saying nice things because they're sponsoring my show. They fully understand I speak honest. I have seen products of theirs. They've given me products to try in the past, and I've said it's a good product, but it's just not something I would use. So if I say something good about a product, and again, it's this word opinion. Please never, ever take what I say as fact. Only ever take it as opinion, because as most of you know, you have a tool or a product that you like. Someone else may not like it. So I will only ever say my opinions on things. But I find on the whole, Smith's Beads have a really good quality service. They work very hard. They give you this personal service as opposed to, I mean, Amazon is great, but at the end of the day, it's a very generic service, whereas Smith's Beads gives you a personal service, and their products are great. I find their products are either really useful or they're a great product. It's just not for me. But so if I say anything, it's my own thoughts, and they understand that. And I believe, Mike, tell me if I'm wrong, I believe you said this runs till October. If you go onto their website and you enter the discount code penny15, you will get 15% off any order, which means that one of the things a lot of people complain about, and I have complained about before, but I'm not a complainer, I'm a question asker. Oh, why can't you offer free postage? Well, the reason they don't offer free postage is that companies who offer free postage, what they do is they put the price of the products up. and that covers the postage that they're about to give you for free. That means that if you buy a lot of products, you're actually paying probably 2, 3, 4 times as much postage as you need to. If people charge you postage at checkout, it means they can charge less for the items, then charge you postage. So when you come to pay postage, that is all you're paying. Now, with this discount code of 15% off, if you order enough, and I can't do the maths, it's far too late at night, you could effectively get free postage. So you get the best of both worlds. How good is that? So Mike said, sorry, was just away from the keyboard. And then Mike says, yes, end of October. So because that promotional code runs till the end of October, it does not mean that you can wait till the end of October to make your order. It means that you can make an order, get your 15% off, and then go, oh, that was brilliant. I need to buy more stuff. Then you can order stuff at the end of October. Should I be a salesperson or not? Right, so I have been slightly organized this week. So I'm going tabletop down. So I did try and say I'll try and do a little bit more. I haven't done as much as I wanted to do, but I wanted to fill in that I'm going to use, oh God, I want to use the word boring, but I don't, it's not, it's plain. You tend to find the outside and the corners tend to be quite plain. So I did fill a little bit more in, but I really haven't had the time to really push on it. But I have organized my drills. So that means that when I am changing colors, I can do it a lot more quickly. Now, I've also lost my little tray. I made a little custom tray. Let me see if I got another one. So last week I was using the green boat, and the green boat is exactly the same as the white one, but the white one has a spout. I like the one with a spout because when you've got some drills left in there, I use these Tic Tac containers to store my drills in, and then you can just put the spout in there and you can tip it in. The only trouble with that is if you tip it a little bit too hard, they all jump out. So what I've done is I've got a little green boat and I've just cut the end off, turned it upside down, super glued it on the end, and that just gives a little bit of cover so that if you do just bang a little bit too hard, they don't bounce out. But I had one of these ages ago and I can't find it. That's me being disorganized, you see. But I have done a few awkward moves, house moves. So, and I can't find my roller, so I've ordered another one. And but the best thing I found are these, which unfortunately these come from Amazon. But they're all right. They do the job really well. They're not as good as, I think these are about 10 quid each. There is a set of storage containers that are about 60 quid a tray, and they are absolutely amazing. But to get the full collection so that you can get every single color of drill, you need about 6 of them. And 6 times 60 quid, 360 quid. That's a lot of money just for storage, isn't it? Whereas I can get every single color into 7 of these, so that's 70 quid to have every single one. The only drawback with these is they don't always close that well, so you will find over time you'll lose a few drills, but you won't lose 360 quid's worth of drills. So that's my preferred storage method. And I found me little straightening tools, which are extremely handy. These are just things I picked up. When I bought this, it came with a couple of tools, and you know, when I start the line off, I can now start it off like this, and it just gets that first line started. I got my little ceramic cutter, which I've always had, and then my little pushy tool. I hardly ever use this, but when I do, it's quite useful because it can get in there, and you know, if you've got a load of drills that are a little bit out of alignment. Right, so anyway, I promised you I was going to show you this model. So this is one of the first models that I've done. So, you know, this, I would not class this as any kind of award winning, because all it essentially is a little bit of paint, a little bit of wash, and a little bit of highlight. I can't get the focus for some reason. There we go. So, you know, you can see there's lots of basic techniques there. But one thing I do love about it is the skulls on the back. And all that really is do a nice base coat of a nice skull colour, slap a load of wash on it, give it a bit of a dry brush, and Bob's your uncle. And the fire is a little bit too small to really do it well. But I am quite happy with that little torch. And I'm not, as you can see, I'm no good with swords. I've seen some people, they do some really good work with swords, but sword is something that I'm just not amazing at. But yeah, so this is, as I say, this is what, 2 inches tall, 12, 2. Let's get the ruler out, shall we? So this is 60 centimeters tall. The Medusa figure is 30 centimeters. So this is 6. So it's 5 times bigger than this. So that's going to be a real test for me, especially as I've not done much figure painting. And I think it's one of these skills that you really need to, you just because you've got good at something, you need to keep doing it to stay as good. Otherwise, you start to sort of get a bit rusty. So let's do a quick catch up. Mass, is this a test? Most of us are drunk. Do you know what? That's great, because if most of you guys are drunk, this is going to be a very easy stream for me, isn't it? Because it's not. Oh, guys, I need to tell you something. I have.
What is a woman?
Booked. Oh, hang on.
Hang on. To what a woman is.
Sorry. Right. So I have booked a concert. I haven't been to a concert in ages. And basically, let me just make that bigger.
Hey, y'all.
Right. So I've got these 2 very good friends. They're neighbours, and we do a lot of things. They do all the good things and the bad things about friends. Like they had me running around Glasgow today, giving them a lift to go and get a cat. So instead of going to bed at like 9 in the morning this morning, I got to bed about 1 in the afternoon. But, you know, it's what friends do, isn't it? And they've now got the little kitten that they wanted. But I've booked, they've just recently had a couple of birthdays and I missed it. And I've booked tickets for a concert. So I'm going to just show you the trailer because I think this looks amazing.
Do you want to go down to Double Gate Drive? Well, come on! Come
How good does that look? And also, it's I've booked the 3 tickets for the 3 of us because I think it's one of those concerts you don't go on your own, do you? You can have a lot more fun with someone. And we got front row seats, so they were like 25 quid a ticket. So I didn't think that was a lot of money. So right, let's get some diamond painting done, shall we? So great news for me, I think. I don't know if there's a lot of people done this, but whoops. If anyone's a football computer fan, every year the new FIFA comes out. And I do love FIFA. It's one of my favourite games. And there's a couple of features that look pretty good on the new version, and I got an email come through that says you have been selected for beta testing. So it's coming out. I think it's end of September, October. I can actually, I could have downloaded about 5 days ago and beta tested it. So guess what I'm doing tonight after the stream? So I should be playing the brand new unreleased FIFA. So yeah. So right, what you guys been up to? And also I want to say thank you to, oh, they've gone. There was someone watching from the Facebook page on Smith's Beats, but they've gone now, so I must have scared them off. So yeah, my YouTube schedule is a little bit out as well. I need to tell you about that. It's not a lack of time, it's a lack of time management. Obviously my shifts, I've actually got more time off now than I used to have, but it's a case of I work long shifts and then I get a little bit more days off. It works out that on average I get an extra half a day off a week. But when I'm working, it's like when we go down to London and then it's literally straight into the hotel, into bed. So you've lost that day. Not that I had that day when I was working on the service buses anyway. But say now I've got 2 solid days off. Next week I think I've got 3 days off. There is one bit where I get like a 4-day weekend, and it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all that time off? So it's not a case of I haven't got the time. I'm kind of learning to manage my time in a different way than I used to. So as a result, all of those that were absolutely hung on my F14 videos, you'll notice I didn't publish one last week. And that's because I just wasn't able to get it done in time. But tonight and tomorrow I'll be working on next week's video. And then let's see, I've got my schedule somewhere. Yeah, I'll be working on two F14 videos, and then I'll be working on the next mosquito video. I've got one mosquito video made. So what are we up to? 15th of August. So yeah, I've got to make the video for the F14 for this coming Friday. Next week's mosquito video has already been made. And then I've got to make the next F14 video. Then I need to work on the next mosquito video, which is nice because that'll give me a little bit of a break from the F14. And as I say, it's time management. I've got the time. I've just got to manage it. Because don't forget that I have other things that I have to do, like I'm trying to run a house, bit of cleaning and stuff like that on the house, and unfortunately that's very unproductive as far as diamond painting and videos is concerned. But it's the trouble, isn't it? Life does get in the way of having fun, doesn't it? But which reminds me, I need to apologize to Teresa for distracting her from work today. So let's do a quick catch up. So James Moe has corrected himself. Maths. Maths, is this a test? Most of us are drunk. You did. Oh, I see. Yeah. You spelt it. I'm not going to point that out. So Francis Adams. Hello, Francis. But it is a model. Yay. So James Moe, can't do stage diving on your own. Do you know what? I've got to be honest with you. Although I've booked front row seats, I'll be cheering and stuff, but I won't be like I'm one of these. I'm happy to hide up in the corner. But who knows, when you've got 2 leery friends and a couple of drinks down you, maybe we could finish the evening and lots of people are looking at us and going, oh, they had a good time, didn't they? Is that a compliment, do you think, when they say that? Right, Jeff Light. Good evening, Penny, and everyone in chat. James Marr, hi, Jeff Light. Jeff Light says hi, James. So Mark Fitz says, gotta say, watching your videos has inspired me to pick up my diamond painting. So have you done diamond painting before, Mark, or are you saying that you prepared to give it a try? Also, I'm an ex-bus driver from Norfolk area. Keep it up. Where exactly are you? Because I'm from Norfolk. That's where I grew up. So I'm aware of all the companies, but I actually worked for First Group, Norwich First Group. But my boss, when I started at First Group, I don't know if he's still there, but he became the operations manager at what are they called? Is it Connect Bus, based in Dereham Way, the blue buses? And I hear lots of sad news. I don't know if they still exist, but Norfolk Green, I know they were having a lot of trouble because I can't remember exactly when it was, but they introduced a free travel scheme for pensioners and concessions, which from your guys' point of view is a fantastic thing. But from a bus company point of view, it's a real drop in income, because what a lot of the councils do is they have a limited budget. But also councils don't see customers, they all pay on a daily basis. You know, you get cash paying customers, you're receiving the money the time they actually get on the bus. Councils pay like 6 monthly. Now, companies like Norfolk Green, they specialised in doing the North Norfolk coast runs. Now, 90% of their customers are pensioners, you know, people that have come up on holiday. So they're running this bus service, so they get like 6 months worth of running costs, but they're not getting the income for it until much later. And it was causing a real problem. And I know that they were saying that they are at risk of having to close down. But I don't know if they have done. And then you've got Saunders. Saunders at one point used to be a bit of a refuge for sacked First Group drivers. Not saying they're terrible drivers, it's just drivers that no longer work for First Group. Especially given that Saunders don't have the facilities to train drivers, train as in educate. So somewhere like First Group, you can join First Group with no bus license. They'll put you through training school. You sign a little waiver to say if you leave within a certain length of time, you've got to pay the training costs back. Do you know what? Sorry, I'm just going to jump a comment. Mark Fitz, same one as you. I was at First and I've done loads of work. I thought I heard that name before. You're going to have to remind me who you are, because I did look at that name earlier and I thought, oh, do I know that name? And then you said you were from Norfolk and I'm like, oh my God, this is quite spooky. So yeah. So, oh God, I'm scared now. You know, when you come across someone who knows you and I'm like, oh my God. Have they got anything good to say about me, or is it all bad? But yeah, it's yeah. Right. Sorry. So back to Mike. Where is the gig at? Right. I'm gonna have to look that one up, Mike, because I can never remember. Let me just go through my emails. It is at a place called no, that's a different appointment I've made. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Right, it's called ER Culture and Leisure. Oh, Eastwood Park Theatre in Glasgow. So Dominic's saying, have a nice evening, I'm going to bed. I don't blame you, Dominique. Yeah, so I've never been before, but it looks like it's a leisure centre that have got like a little mini arena. I think it holds about 300 people, which again works in my favour. I'm a little bit fearful of big places, excuse me. If I went to like a rock concert at Wembley Stadium, I'd find that a little bit too overwhelming. But 300 seated people all at a concert, yeah, I can probably manage that. Yeah, and of course I've got the comfort of having two friends with me, which is always going to work in my favour as well. But then saying that, funny enough, talking about First Group, when I joined First Group, I hadn't been there like a day, and they said, oh, we've got this ladies' night out. Do you fancy coming along? I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm up for it. So we went to this night out, and it was in the conference room or it was like a restaurant function room, in a hotel, and they had a Robbie Williams impersonator, and I thought he was really good actually. Did enjoy him. When it comes to music, I don't really go, oh, I love that band, I'm a big fan, but I like what I like, and Robbie Williams puts out more songs that I like than I dislike. But this Robbie Williams impersonator, he was pretty good. And then straight after, they had this Chippendale style act, and they did the full Monty, and it was absolutely hilarious. And I was quite a closed in person. Is that probably the best thing to say? Not a prude, but yeah, kind of took me by surprise a little bit. And I remember saying, oh, you weren't wrong when you said it was a ladies' night out. So yeah, that was funny. So I had an awful moment this week. Hopefully this will serve as a warning for people as well. So as you know, I'm doing coach. It's like National Express, but it's not. It's a company called Flixbus, and we do coaches down to London. A long old trip, Glasgow to London. And everyone, it's all pre-booked tickets and everything. And then, the earlier you book, the cheaper the ticket is. And if you actually come up to us on the day and say, I want to buy a ticket, you'll get a full price ticket, whatever the price is. Now, we're not like normal service buses in that you just get on and your under fives are free, because we're all about booking the space, not the age. So kids go cheaper than adults, but because we're motorway driving, you have to have bums on seats. So there's none of this kids sitting on mum and dad's lap. Well, we had this woman turn up with her baby, and I said, we haven't got a booking for that kid. Well, it's under 5. I said, doesn't matter how old he is, we need a booking. So I had to charge her, and because it was on the door price, 58 quid for an under 5 to go to London. And I'm like, I actually feel pretty awful doing this, but it's the way it is. So you had fully grown adults on there paying like 11 quid for a ticket because they booked it in advance, and I'm charging someone 58 quid for a child. But I didn't feel bad once we got to London, because we have to do a litter pick at the end of the shift, obviously get all the rubbish out. And we had a really good trip on the whole, because 53 passengers, we had 3 pieces of litter. That's 3 pieces. Except for where this woman was. She must have rammed a bag of, I don't know, mini cheddar or something into the floor. And it was a nightmare to clear up. So right, so I'm just doing a bit of catch up. Right, so James Mower, night at Dominique Cocu. Jeff Light, night Dominique, sleep well, mate. I'm so glad you're going to go to... Yeah, it's... I've been living in Glasgow now for a year and a half. And, you know, I've said, oh, yeah, I need to explore. I have been nowhere in a year and a half. I couldn't even tell you the next village along, you know, what it's like. And, you know, now I've got... I mean, Flix... Do you know what Flixbus, they do? They do a coach from Glasgow to Aberdeen. It's £1 single. You know, I could go 3.5 hours to Aberdeen, spend the day in Aberdeen, and come back. With the booking fee, it's £3 return. And that's with, I mean, I can't get a staff discount on that, but it's £3 a return with no discounts. I mean, you can't argue. Where's the excuse of me staying at home and not going out? You know, so yeah, I need to do a little bit more. And, you know, I've come to an absolutely fantastic place. It really is lovely. I cannot sing the praises enough of Scotland. Don't listen to the stereotypes of what people are like. They're only partly true. So yeah, and it's... So yeah, going out doing a concert. Trouble is, now I've got to go out shopping next week because what do I wear for a concert? I don't own anything that's suitable for wear. So, you know, all I've really got is, you can't really turn up for a rock concert in a pair of trainers, pair of jeans covered in paint, and an F14 Tomcat t-shirt. It doesn't really work, does it? So I'm just going to fill in some of that head because this I don't know if you can see it, where the cellophane is, I can't see it. So I've got some sticky there. So if I go down to the bottom of the sticky, it'll just act as a little border for me then. So I'll just start filling some of those seeds. But it might just make that picture pop a little bit more because, as you can see, it's a completely different colour. Anyway, so what I was going to say to you, Mark Fit, depending on whether you've done diamond painting before or you haven't, I would... Now, they're going to kill me at Smith Speeds. Get yourself a really, really cheap, nasty one. Well, I'm telling you how I got into diamond painting. I did a really cheap, nasty one with Amazon. It was about £2 or £3. And therefore you get it quickly. And you'll have it done in a day because they're only a little one. The detail will be naff. But, you know, it's the principle of, you know, does it chill you out? And then I would genuinely go with Smith's beads. You know, it's little things like you get that sort of pen with a basic set. And then does it work for you? If you find that a really good pen, that's fine. I think this is a better pen, you know, so I use this. And you start to find, you know, do you want a light pad? Well, Smith's beads do those. So, you know, you can pick up the light pad. Some people say light pads aren't worth it. It doesn't work for them. Some people say it's the best investment they've ever made. In fact, if I do this, you'll see why I love... There you go, look. I mean, you can't really see the colours so well at the moment, but it's so much easier to find the squares now. Because as you can see, you can easily see where I've put a drill and where I haven't. And it makes life absolutely amazing. And of course, what I can do, you can't really see the colours too well here. But when it comes to me turning the light on, there you go. Suddenly it's starting to pop a bit more. So, oh, there you go. Look, light pads, 20% discount on the A4 from £9 to £9.20 with code. Is that LP20 or IP20, Mike? You have to just clarify that for me. And I've got to be honest with you, £9 for a light pad, I think is a really good price. To get it for £7.20, that's even better. So it's LP. So it's Lima Papa 20. So there you go. And you know, light pads aren't just useful for diamond painting. There's so many tracing designs, and you know, I know a lot of artists use them. So right, I've got to figure out. Right, there we are. Right. So night, Dominic. Good night, Dominic. Love these. I'm so glad you're going to the concert. Right, Mark Fit was very quiet. You probably remember the name from Rote, was kept myself under the radar. To be honest with you, if you keep yourself under the radar, driver, you've probably got on so well at the company. I don't mind saying that I wasn't really an under the radar driver. And that may have got me in a spot of bother at times. What kind of kept me going was I did do a lot of favours for people. And, I mean, they did favours back for me. Do you remember Sue, Mark, the inspector? She used to put me down for spare for a Sunday. I got no choice in it in the end. She just put me down. And we got on really well, and we'd spend most of the shifts just chatting, and we'd go into I've forgotten the name of the bloody road, Vulcan Road Depot, on a Sunday, and we'd probably spend most productive thing we did. We used to clean the toilets and that out, and but she was really funny because she tried to not give me any work, and she said I remember her saying one day, she goes, "I'm so sorry, Penny." I'm like, "What?" She's gone, "I really don't want to do this." I said, "Are you giving me work?" She went, "Yeah, I'm really sorry." I said, "Well, no." I said, "At the end of the day," I said, "spare driver, you're there to work. And if you have to do work, then you have to do work. Not sitting there doing nothing, waiting for work to come in. That's bonus." But I said, "You know, I am here to work." And she goes, "Well, yeah, that's exactly why I don't want to give you any work, because you've got a good attitude for it." But yeah, on the whole, I wasn't really an under the radar driver. I kind of learned, sort of matured a little bit more in the years to come. And, you know, I realized that what bus driving really is all about is coming into work on time or early, doing your shift, doing what's required of you on your duty card, and then going home. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And if you turn up and you're not absent very often, for some apparent reason, you just get regarded as one of the best drivers there. And I've been to so many jobs now, and I've gone, I don't do anything special. I just come in and do the job. And then they go, "Yeah, but there's so many drivers can't even manage that." So, yeah. So, yeah, if you're an under the radar driver, that's probably why, you know, you probably would have got on really well there. Right, Natasha, hello, how are you? If you want to come pop in and join me, Natasha, you're more than welcome to. So if you just drop us a message on Facebook and I'll send you the link. So James Mower, hi Natasha. Good evening, Natasha. Need a number of the Beast t-shirt. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just mention this again. 20% discount on the A4 light pads. The A4 light pad, well, it's the same as a sheet of paper. It's about the same size as this. This is an A4 light pad, and that's what it looks like with my hand on it. And like I say, in my opinion, £9 is a good price anyway. So to get it for £7.20 is amazing. If I didn't have a light pad already, well, actually, I prefer the bigger light pads. But if I didn't have a light pad, I would be snapping that up, and I'm being absolutely genuine there. So Mark Fit, I've had stuff from Smith's. Highly recommend them. I tend to use a light stand with magnification lens in it. Oh, Mark, you're gonna have to drop me messages and pictures for that one. Yeah, I remember Sue very well. Been trying to remember who the bloke was at Kennet. I'll get it later on. What do you mean the bloke was at Kennet? So Natasha, I'm good. Hope you're okay too. Yeah, I'm good. I'm having so many comments from people saying how much happier I am. So, I mean, you don't always necessarily notice it yourself, but people have been saying to me, "Oh, you're so much happier since you've gone over to Flicks." And I said, "Well, that is what I came for. I make no secret about it. I came here I was doing Flixbus in Leicester, and I did love it on the whole. The only thing was I was traveling 300 miles from Glasgow to Leicester, and I was going home for 6 days off, and few issues with the lodger that I had at the time. So as a result, I was spending my 6 days off cleaning the house and doing my washing, and I wasn't really getting any quality time off. But if I had to rate that job out of 10, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, purely because of the travel. And I came to Glasgow I mean, I was already living in Glasgow, but I would give this 10 out of 10 because it's you get to sleep in your own bed more often. Even though I'm, you go down to London, stay in a hotel, come back the next day, I'm still in my bed at least every other day. But they basically said to me, there's no vacancies on Flixbus yet, but come down and do some service work, and then as soon as the vacancies come up in a couple of months, you'll be on it. Cut a long story short, it's taken me 6 months of feet stomping and spitting my dummy out, and in the end I actually resigned because I just thought it's not going to happen. And then it actually happened just as I handed my notice in, and they said, look, will you stay if we get you Flixbus? And I went, well, yeah, that's what I come for. And I am actually working harder than I did when I was doing service bus work, but you don't mind working harder when you're getting the results for it. I'm finding it so rewarding. We had a couple yesterday. They were absolutely desperate to get home from London, and we thought we weren't going to be able to help them. And you could see that they were so nice about it. And we just, it's one of those, you really want to help them. And then we finally got them on our coach, and we dropped them off. I think they went to Sunderland, and they were like, oh, thanks ever so much. She was almost in tears when we said we can get them on. And, and that's a massive reward. You get bus drivers are complaining about money, but to be honest with you, one of the best rewards you can get is a real, genuine thank you. Damn autocorrect was Connect. Oh, that's it, Connect. I can tell you his name then, now that I know you're saying Connect. The bloke at Connect was Steve Royal. I don't know if he's still there. And his only weakness, I think, is he's trying to be really nice to the drivers. And, sometimes as a manager, you've got to know when to chuck the F's into the conversation. And he just tried to be nice. And I think some drivers tried to sort of take advantage of that. That's the only fault I could ever give him. But he was absolutely magical at making duty cards, wasn't it? They just worked really well. And he didn't use a computer. I don't know if anyone knew that. He didn't use a computer to work the duty cards out. He could do it all in his head. And when he left to go to Connect, they grew significantly. And I don't know how much of that was to do with Steve, but they were a small to medium company, and within about 2 years they were a serious competitor to First Group. But I think First's only fault is that I think they stand still. They have these big roots, and I think they stand still and they just go, yeah, this is fine. We're happy with this. And then what happens is they might have a root and it's only making, say, £500 profit a day. So they cut it because it's not profitable enough. You know, they want the ones that's making a grand a day or something. And I, you know, a lot of us would look at that as being greedy. You know, if we could make £500 a day, we'd be really happy. We certainly wouldn't sit there and go, well, I'm not happy because I'm not making a grand a day. Yeah. So Natasha, I'm originally from. So whereabouts in Norfolk are you from then, Natasha? Are you trying to join our exclusive club there of awesome Norfolk people? See, I would have always thought you were, I forget, where is it, Morecambe? Something like that, isn't it? You're at the moment. So, right, let's go for different colours, shall we? Let's just put splatterings of colour in. So this is quite good because you're not actually seeing the colours. I mean, I can't see the colours. So if I just kind of keep going and then all of a sudden turn the lights on, and all these black drills are suddenly going to turn into the actual colour they should be, and you're all going to go, wow, look at that. That's just gone from awful to pretty good. Oh, I had a bit of news today about my custom. It should have taken about 2 weeks, let's call it 3 weeks. I'm not impatient. But I got told today by Smith's Beads that apparently China are on lockdown. So that's going to be slowing my custom down. And I don't have a problem with, well, obviously I haven't got my custom, but you know, it's external forces, isn't it? You can't have a go at Smith's Beads for that. And again, that just shows the level of service that Smith's Beads has. They've taken the time and trouble to contact me and say, look, I'm ever so sorry, Penny, that custom you've got, it's not happening as quickly as you want because, do you know what? I've got a little non-sticky patch there. Oh, how bad is that? This is, see, you buy cheap. Look at that. It's not sticking. It's a little, oh, you know why it's not sticking, don't you? That's where the backing paper is. I'm trying to stick a drill onto backing paper and I'm wondering why it's not going to stick. I was about to talk bad about this diamond painting when it actually, that would have been inappropriate. But it is still not the best diamond painting I've ever done. When I did the out of the box review, it did rather well, and as an out of the box thing, it is pretty good actually. But it's like most things, it's not till you actually come to use it that you realize how good it is. But you know, the drills looked fairly good from what I can see. But when I do an out of the box review, what I do is I pick 3 or 4 packets of the drills and then I have a look at them. I'm not going to sit there and look. I'm not going to look in great detail. So you are a North Walsham girl. Lived in North Walsham. Now, if you follow the road, the North Walsham Road, from Norwich to, well, either direction, there's a corner and it's a 50-mile-an-hour limit. The speed drops from national speed limit to 50. And I learned not long after I passed my car test in my little mini Metro, which was not the most stable car in the world, I found out almost the hard way why they've dropped the speed limit down to 50. Because in my little car, if you do more than about 30 mile an hour, you end up screaming as you fight really hard to keep the car on the road. And my second car was an Ibiza, which is pretty much a train. I've taken that corner at 65 in my Ibiza, and the car's pretty much screaming, yeah, go faster, we can handle it. But yeah, Mini Metro, I remember that corner. And it's also notorious for, when I did taxis, I used to drive a Mondeo, which are quite nicely, streamlined. But on my roof was a little solid sign that said private hire. And you get the birds, and they're sitting there eating carrion or whatever on the road. And as the car comes close, they leap up and they use the airflow to avoid missing the car. Unfortunately, because I got this taxi sign on the top of the car, they hit the taxi sign. And you look in your rearview mirror and all you see is feathers. It's absolute carnage. I bet there's loads of roadkill down that way. So, do you know what? I'm going to have to have a holiday in Norfolk. I remember cycling quite often from Norwich so I used to live near the airport, which is sort of North Walsham Road, Cromer Road, that sort of way. So trips to sort of out on the North Walsham Road and Cromer were quite common for us. And I used to cycle to Coltshall and Cromer and places like that a lot, Wroxham. And I remember going out on the Cromer Road a lot. And where's the Sproston Road lead to? Is that North Walsham Road? I think that is, isn't it? I haven't been back to Norwich for ages. But I think I'm just going to have to go somewhere like Hopton or something and book a caravan for a week and just spend the whole week just reacquainting myself with the Norfolk roads and seeing how much they changed. Because I left Norfolk because I thought, I'm bored of Norwich. And it's a bit crap, When you've lived there all your life, you kind of end up saying that, won't you? And then I lived in Bristol for about 5 years, and I really didn't like Bristol, and I really didn't know why. I said, I'm not enjoying it in Bristol. And people go, well, what's wrong with Bristol? And I'm like, I genuinely can't tell you. And then I was sort of having a chat with someone, and I suddenly hit me. The only reason I didn't like Bristol was because it wasn't Norfolk. As simple as that. Norwich is where I was used to. So I went back to Norwich, and I worked there for a few years when I was with First Group. And it changed so much since I'd left. And it wasn't the Norwich that I remembered. So since then, I've just kind of been a bit of a wherever I'm living at the time, that's where I live. It's so So last time was about 5 years ago. So you've probably been back more recently than I have then. But yeah, I did. But yeah, even though I don't really regard myself as from Norwich anymore, one thing, funny enough, I had a conversation about this the other day. I was quite ashamed of my Norfolk accent when I was living in Norfolk. And then I kind of realised it's who I am. It's part of my identity. And people go on about the Birmingham accent being one of the worst accents. I think it's absolutely lovely. And I know a lot of people from Bristol wouldn't agree with me. I think a lot of them say it's a terrible accent. But it's who you are. You're from Birmingham, you've got a Birmingham accent. You're from Manchester, you've got a Manchester accent. I have a Norfolk accent. And it's part of my identity. And you can either love me for me or love me for it or hate me for it. So I keep going back to the same old drill. I keep missing things out. I'm actually trying to fill this in quite solid. I don't really want to be doing these top bits because although I can get through them. In fact, I probably will actually, because I can get through them quite quick. So we'll actually make quite a lot of progress if I do that. Right. Do you know what? I've just pulled out some drills that I really don't need. That's how useless I am sometimes. Right, let's have a look. So yeah, up in Morecambe now. Sproston Road takes you to Stalham and Potter Higham. Even I had to look that up. Potter Hyam. What's the name of that shop in Potter Hyam? There's a big old shop up there, and it's absolutely fantastic. And you can get some really good designer gear for like not much money. I'm gonna have to look this up. Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry about this, but you know when you just have to know. Potter Hyam, Guide to Potter Hyam. Best things to do. Yeah, that's got to be that one, isn't it? Best things to do. Shop. I can almost hear the radio advert. So and so's of Potter Hyam. Right, let's have shops. Latham's of Potter Hyam. Absolutely amazing shop. That's it. Oh, you just beat me to it, Mark. Latham's, yeah. I bought so many. Even look at that. Everybody else knew except for me. And I tell you what, there used to be my first job. I was a pot washer. I'd gone to catering college to learn to be a chef, and part of the course was I had to have a catering related job. So I got a job as a pot washer. And God, where was that? It was a carvery out on the Roxham Road, Racecourse Inn. I'll take you out past Rackheath. And a lot of us, we used to go down to Tigers in Potter Hyam. There's a nightclub there after work. And I used to love that. Yeah, Friday, Saturday nights, Tigers. I think it was Saturday night. Tigers. I don't even know if I doubt they're still there now. But yeah, they were the days. But yeah, Latham's of Potter Hyam. Yeah, I don't think you can say Latham's without saying of Potter Hyam. And we haven't even mentioned Roy's yet, have we? Roy's of Wroxham, which isn't even in Wroxham. It's actually in Hove. So, did you know Roy's of Wroxham is actually the largest village store in the world? And it is absolutely, it takes up most of Wroxham. Yeah, to be honest with you, I very much doubt that's there, because nightclubs, they tend to change hands quite frequently, don't they? What's the name of the ones? What was the original name? The ones down Tombland. Is it Samson and Delilah? Or Samson, something and Samson? And those two clubs have changed hands and changed names so many times. It's unreal. I think it's like every couple of years they sell on, don't they? But I'm convinced a lot of the nightclubs, especially the ones in Norwich, are just some kind of front for something a bit more sinister. So, you know, like it's like watching Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, isn't it? God. Stringfellows. Yeah, no, we're not that posh in Norfolk. Don't have anything that good. Right, T3041. 3041. So, yes, guys, welcome to the Memories of Norfolk stream. So, right. Now I've completely run out of things to say. So if Mark does his job properly, next week I'll have about another 200 new subscribers, all of them Norwich bus drivers. I don't know if she'll pop on, but my little friend up at Nether Craigs, who popped on my last stream right at the end of the show. I think I've seen her since. I can't remember. No, I haven't seen her. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember. I do remember. Oh, last week. Oh, that's what I haven't told you. So, because they'd changed my shifts around. So I'd worked a lot the last couple of weeks. But because they swapped 2 shifts, I ended up with 6 days off. And my boss says, oh, I just love the way he goes, oh, but don't worry, I've got some extra work for you, private hire. And I'm like, what, you're just assuming I want to do extra work? You're assuming that I don't want to sit at home and enjoy my days off? But I did this private hire. It was a works due to Air Racecourse. And from my point of view, it was a little bit boring. Where are you? Right. Samson and Hercules. That's right. Must remember Penny's in Edward Street. Do you know what? Right now, I can't remember where Edward Street is, but I know Edward Street. Didn't they have a massive bed shop in Edward Street? Massive. It's the place you used to go to buy beds and mattresses until Mattress Man came along. I'm sure of it. Right, don't know if I can join you only on iPhone. Well, if you want to give it a try, Natasha, quite happy to. Yeah, so anyway, so this job I did, I had to pick these people up from somewhere in Renfrew or something. Then pick 2 more pickups. We took them from Glasgow to Ayr. The actual journey was only about an hour. I kind of semi-cocked up because I had a 6-hour wait, and obviously I had to park this coach up somewhere. I didn't really want to pay, so I actually found the Robert Burns Museum. So I thought they got a. Well, I'll tell you what, Natasha. Do you want to come on tomorrow? Give you a bit of chance to sort yourself out, and then give us something to do tomorrow. I can't remember a lot of places there now. Yeah, so I thought, right, well, there's a coach park at the Robert Burns Museum, and I don't really, I've come to Scotland and I don't really know much about Robert Burns other than he was a poet or something like that. He wrote things anyway. So I went and had a look at this museum. It cost me £8.50 to get in. And then by the time you chucked a few souvenirs on, I ain't got a lot of money left than £30. So I thought, well, why am I doing overtime when it's costing me more money than I'm actually earning from it? But it was a good day out. But the only trouble was the coach was a bit broken. It was a really hot day, and we couldn't turn the heating off. So everyone's complaining. But the actual boss guy, he was really nice. He says, look, Penny, he goes, we are going to be putting complaints in about this, but not about you because you've done a really good job. And I'm like, I really appreciate that. And at the end of the night, he's a real nice gentleman, actually. And he was like, oh, I'm really sorry about this. He goes, but I want the women dropped off like closer to their homes because I don't want them walking home in the dark. So whereas I did like 3 pickup points, I did about 8 drop-off points, but I didn't have a major problem with it. And because obviously I'm getting paid for what I work. And then he slipped me a tip for £40, which private hire pays a little bit less than my Flixbus shifts. But if you work the averages out with a tip, I was on about £2 an hour more than I was doing my Flixbus shifts. So I'm happy with that, aren't I? Be wrong not to be happy with it. And then the next day, it was more for politics reasons. They asked me to do a service bus shift. Now, we've been short of drivers lately. We've been stealing a lot of service bus drivers. They've really been helping out us, which is great for us because if they've got the shifts covered, they're then not going to hassle us for overtime. Because obviously we're working that hard when we're working. We really want to enjoy our time off. It really gives us a chance to rest. Because doing that length, even though you're not driving for the whole shift, it does, You know, you can't just come home, have 8 hours sleep and bang, you're fully recovered. You need those 2 days off or 4 days off or whatever. So, yeah, I had a block of 6 days off, and they asked me to do one service bus shift, just to sort of return the favour. So I'm like, yeah, no problems. And I actually found I quite enjoyed it, because it's been that long since I've done it. So that was quite nice. So I might do another one next month. Just a single shift. Just keep yourself in touch with service bus work. It's not awful. It's just I prefer the long distance coaches. So yeah, right. We're getting there. We're plugging away at this, aren't we? W's. But you know me, I'm not really doing this to do the diamond painting is sort of second. It's having a nice chill out and a little chit chat with friends. Obviously good diamond painting helps. Look, I've just done 3s and I've just found a big block of 3s down there that I missed. That's me all over for you. Oh, and I found a couple there, look, as well. Am I doing W's at the moment, aren't I? Yeah, I thought I'd done them all, and this is how I go with it. I end up if I do like a little block, I always end up sort of going around 3 or 4 times with each colour, because I know this is another reason why I like double-sided tape, because I can see like the C's and things there, but with the tape that they give, it'll totally black it off, so you can see clearly which ones you need. And also what I tend to do as well when I try to do the checkerboard thing, but my preferred method is I'll take a square and I'll kind of hit the corners of the square, and then I'll make a circle, and then I'll kind of work my way into the circle. So let's have a look. Diamond painting, my first go-to, only craft I can get into. I'm working on a wolf one. Do you know what? I think I'm going to show you all this, because this is the best one I've done, I reckon, so far. Bear with me, guys. Right, this one has got a little bit damaged where I've been moving, but it's it was an absolute labour of love. Let me change the camera, I'll get you a better view of it. I'd love to say this came from Smith's Beads, but unfortunately it didn't. But this is my first big one that I did, and it's absolutely amazing. And the webcam's just not doing it any justice, but it's absolutely amazing. An awful lot of, there's very little black on it. Quite a small bag of 310. It's mostly dark blue and light blue. But where is it? Yeah, around about here, it's got a little bit damaged. So I might just spend a bit of time and pick out all of the drills that have all shifted a bit and then redo them, because I've got the chart on the side there, and then get a frame for it. But this was so nice that when I was actually working, it was like as soon as I finished, I was like driving home as quickly as I can, and then getting straight on with it, wolfing my dinner down, just maybe trying to get half an hour done. And then I was getting up maybe an hour early in the morning just to get another hour. And it was just, I just had such an addiction on it. It was just amazing, but I really enjoyed it. And it took, it was quite expensive. But when I did the maths and worked out how much it was costing me, like if you got a diamond paint for 60 quid and it took 60 hours to complete, it's cost you £1 an hour, isn't it? These cheap ones, they might be £5 and you haven't done in a few hours. They're not really that good value, are they? But these big ones, they, you know, obviously they get cheaper the bigger they are, but it really didn't cost an awful lot for the amount of time I spent on it. It was really good value. So yeah. So Mark Fitz says, I'm like that. Most of mine are with a clear cover on them, so I tend to stray over, and that's fantastic. I'm doing the white tiger next. I tell you what, if you're into tigers, you really want to get in with Smith's Beads, because I know Teresa loves tigers. But normally, if I get anything like this, when I do, I don't know if I've got any bits here. Bear with me a sec. I know I've got some here. So when I do the double-sided tape ones, the ones that come with this backing paper, what I do is I cut it into squares, and then when I take each square away, I keep these. And then what I'll do, if I get something like this, I will then just stick these over the top, so then I can work on it, take away one bit, because I really do prefer this. But also, if you take away, say, a big square like that, as you're working on these ones, your hand is sticking there. So what I'll do is I'll take that square away there, and then I can use that to cover, to make a bit that doesn't stick. And if you use a couple of them, you know, you can then work that square bigger. It doesn't really affect the glue too much, but obviously if you've got a bit of a sweaty hand, you're a little bit worried that, you know, the sticky is degrading a bit. But what I would like to do with this is actually take all of this paper off and then replace it. But I've lost a lot of these, so I've got to get why has my screen just gone? Oh, at last. Sorry, I've been formatting an SD card for a friend, and we've done about 4 attempts to format it. It just wasn't working, so I've tried a different. Yes. So, right, let me do a catch up, because I've got a comment I want to read. So, I can't remember a lot of the place I'll try, but I'm in a mess. Where are we up to? I can't show much of mine once more is covered. OMG, I love it. Wow, real nice. That would look, yeah, I think if you've got something you really like, it's get it in a frame. Another one that actually, well, let's do the catch up first. Owls and wolves are my favorite. Wolves are the one for me. Teresa says hi all, and I know I've sparked Teresa's interest. Right, so Teresa says we also do the release papers. So I did get sent some release paper, and I might have it. I hope I have it. That's not it, is it? No. Right. So I do apologize. I've let you down big time. So I had some release paper. I got sent some release paper by Smith's Beads. And if I remember doing this from memory, my opinion of it is it's absolutely brilliant. But I actually effectively make my own. These are previous diamond paintings where I've done the double-sided tape. What the first thing I do is I'll sit there with my ceramic cutter and I will cut the squares, and then I pull them off as I need, and then I keep them. But if I hadn't kept them, that release paper would have been absolute genius. Let me see if I can find some, because is it on the website, Teresa? We'll see if we can get you a couple of sales, shall we? But the release paper is really, really good. It's only because I've kept my bits of paper that I didn't really need it. But then saying that, I don't need to keep it anymore. Let's have a look. There we go. Right. So look at this, guys. You're going to absolutely love this. So release paper, 15 sheets of cover paper for £1. You know, you can't argue with that, can you? And that is exactly what I did. When you get like a poured glue one, I will remove all of that, because that, for me personally, hang on, let me, for me personally, this is quite frustrating, this clear plastic. So, you know, 15 sheets of, where are we gone? There we go. 15 sheets of release paper like that. It's £1, you know. Go on there, make an order, and then chuck that on as a little bit of supplemental. Funnily enough, there was something I was looking at buying. I was talking to Teresa pre-stream, and there was something I wanted to buy. And I said, it was like £1.60. And I said, I really don't want to make an order for like £1.60. You know, it's the sort of thing that, like, if you bought a diamond painting, you'll slip that on as an extra. But I think I will actually get some cover paper. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make an order later on. I'll get the cover paper, and then what we'll do is we'll in the next stream we'll remove all of this, and we'll pop the cover paper on. So I'll actually be able to give you a demo. I mean, not that it takes much to do a demo, but yeah, I'll order a few bits and bobs. And obviously what I'm going to do, let me change the banner. Oh, it's already there. So obviously I'm going to enter penny 15 into the checkout and get me 15% off, because I can have a discount as well if you guys can. Yeah, so I'll get some of that, and I'll be able to show you. It won't come in time for this week, but we'll get some ordered for next week. And in fact, tell you what, let's do a bit of a promo, shall we? I'll chuck a few random things in. I'll tell you what, actually, I'm gonna be a little bit cheeky. Mike or Teresa, could you do me an order for like 30 quid? Chuck some cover paper in, and then just chuck a few bits and bobs in, just to make the order up, and then I'll pay the money in the morning, and then you can just send me some surprise goodies. How's that sound? And then we'll show them all off next week. And here's me doing it live on streams, is making it extremely hard for them to say, "Oh no, that's too much for us. We can't do that." But yeah, because also we were talking about, there you go, Mike will sort you out. And that, I have never seen a truer statement than that. Mike will always sort me out. Not just me, but anyone else. So next week, obviously I'm doing a stream tomorrow, but next week we'll take all of this. I hate it. I know there's some people that prefer these kind, but I don't like it. So we'll strip all of that off, and we'll get some cover paper put on, yeah, we'll get that little bit of a demo, and then we'll get a few extra little bits. So Mike Tedstone, I know a couple of big guys. Right, guys, I need to ask a bit of a favour. I'm drinking vast amounts of coffee here. Do you mind if I just take a little bit of a 2-minute break? I haven't really got any videos or anything that I can put on. I'll tell you what, I'll show you my other video. So I'm just going to pop my little intro video on, and then I'll be back before it's over, I hope. So I'll see you in a moment.
Now, Sir Ivan, if you will press this switch over when I say now, that will open our station. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Thank you very much.
And we're back. Do you know what? I'm going to have to make some little video for about 2 minutes long, so that maybe me and Mike can work together and do a few little Smith Speeds videos, so I can just say, and now it's time for these important messages. Play it, and it just gives me time to just nip off and do little things that I need to do. Right, so where are we? So it is now coming up for 12. So what I'm going to do, I think I'll end the show and I'll just square these off. I'll just get all of the exposed sticky done, and then I might do a little bit off camera tonight and just fill in some of these P's, which is P is 939, and it's actually 939 is a color that I want to use a lot of. I've put all the different colors into the Tic Tac things. There's 2 colors that uses more than one tub. This is the ever so lovely 310, and the 939 has taken 3 Tic Tac tubs. So I want to get a lot, but the 939 is mostly all the edges. So, but you know, when you're doing one square of the same color, obviously you can knock that one off really, really quickly. But yeah, let's get these squared off, and then I'll get a couple of squares cut up, ready for tomorrow's show. And then I'll say, hopefully next week I'll have some cover paper sorted out, and I'll show you it in action then. You know, it's probably not as exciting as it sounds, but you'll see how useful it is. It is, you know, it's just that at the time when I got sent some, I was already cutting bits of paper off and keeping it, but it's exactly the same. But obviously using pre-made cover, oh God, I keep touching this. I've got a new light pad coming, and one of the best features for it is the dimmer switch is actually on the power, not on the light pad. There's a number of times I catch this. Just a shame that Smith Speeds haven't got an A2 size pad, because then I could get my 15% discount, couldn't I? So I have to be careful here, because this paper kind of covers half a square. Right, no more J's. Do you know, I've just come up with an idea. It's an extremely simple idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it myself. If I get my Sharpie and I draw a line right on the very edge, just on the cover paper, not on the diamond painting, that then tells me where the border is, and just hope I haven't gone over onto the diamond painting. There you go. That's a lot easier, isn't it? Now I can see where the paper is. Although you got to agree, it's going to be easier to use release paper, isn't it? There you go. And then that's going to come up there. Oh, that's much easier, isn't it? And it's not on the diamond painting, it's on the cover paper. So yeah, it's just made it so much easier. Although that's not actually there, it's actually comes to there. Oh, I did get a little bit of slip there, and I've got some Bulldogs clips coming as well, which is dead handy because using pegs to attach this isn't the best method, but it's better than what I've got. So this is me. This is Little Miss Disorganized. Right, 823 J's. I think that's it for J's. So yeah, so I'll just get this finished up, and then so yeah, Teresa says can't wait for the wolf. No, neither can I. Anyone who has a wolf diamond painting is all right in my books. Me either. Whole bottom row done, nearly done. Right, and let's use that star. So if anybody does use StreamYard to stream, that starring of the comments is actually quite handy. It gives you a kind of a marker of where you're up to. So I might pass that on to I believe Chris Davis World is doing a stream tomorrow, if anyone is interested. I did see it advertised somewhere. Teresa, can you remember what he's doing? Is he doing the he's doing something, isn't he? Build a something or another. Oh God, help us out, someone. But I might give him a shout and see if he wants some assistance, because I don't get the chance to go on his show every week. So infrequently I've got time off when he's doing it. So because it's so infrequent, it just makes it a little bit more special. So all right, number one. I just see number ones. There we are. So this is the point of the design where it's just starting to splash a little bit of color in, and then it just kind of changes its mind and then goes back, and then it comes back in again. That number 3's there. That's my blacks, isn't it? I wonder if I can get rid of a hole. Just this little one of black. That'd be handy, won't it? So yeah, just in case anyone's coming a little bit later, what I've done with my little tray here is I personally prefer the white boats with the spout, but because I use them to go into these little Tic Tacs, I just put a little bit of an upside down green one with the end cut off, just to give it a bit of a cover, because if you smack that too hard they will jump, and that just stops them from jumping out. So I just find it so much easier. And if you kind of bring it, what's going on there? There's a black one with a load of gunk on it. Yeah, these drills are terrible. They really are. You know, if you see a diamond painting that is really, really, really cheap, you really need to question it. And you know, if you get a good one for really cheap, I'll be honest with you, this came from, what was that? Oh, this came from Fansouls, and it was from their £2.99 range. And I'll be honest with you, I think this is worth £2.99, but I wouldn't really pay anything more for it. It's not that good. And I'm probably might even get in trouble for saying this, but I think it's an unlicensed one, because we can see that this is Suicide Squad, but they don't call it Suicide Squad. So it's yeah, it's an imitation of the Suicide Squad, isn't it? So that's why I'm keen to get it done as quickly as I can, because I'm half expecting my videos to get taken down on this for copyright rules. You can't do that. Get that down now. And I understand YouTube's algorithms got a little bit worse lately. It's apparently if you mention a certain event from America in the year 2000 and when was it? 2011, 2001. Oh, yeah. If you mention a certain event from 2001, it's a lot of channels have been taken down because you're just not allowed to mention it. And if you say the C word regarding to recent events, viruses, that gets taken down. YouTube are a bit weird at the moment, I think. So, but I suppose YouTube are doing it to protect their product, aren't they? Right, I am almost, just about to tip all of those in, and there's like a big old blotch on them down here that I haven't done. So yeah, it's funny I said about the customs might take a little bit longer. You know, understandable reasons, not complaining about it, but you know, it might give us a chance to do. I don't know if you remember, I was doing some diamond painting videos in the afternoon. Would have been about a year ago, and the idea was that I'm showing techniques to complete and utter novices, but obviously I can't show you stuff until I'm ready to do it. So when I first started diamond painting, I can go, oh, this is how you do this and that's how you do that. And you know, if that custom takes an awful long time to come, I'd done this one because I thought I can get it done fairly quick, in about roughly the same time it takes the custom to come. But I might be able to do more stuff, like maybe we can slap a bit of Mod Podge on it. I've actually never Mod Podged anything yet. So, yeah, that could be a complete disaster, couldn't it? Because the theory that I've heard is that because diamond painting isn't like a really, really, really old pastime, we don't really know how well these are going to hold up. But as I found out from my wolf one, because they're just little bits of plastic stuck onto something sticky, they can get damaged. So it's always worth protecting them anyway. But one thing I wanted to do, someone told me that Mod Podge is it's effectively PVA glue. So I wanted to, at some point, I want to do half of it, well, split it into sections, and then see how things go. So maybe we can coat one section in Mod Podge and one in just PVA glue and one in something else. And I've just remembered as I'm saying this, there's another experiment that we wanted to try, wasn't there, Teresa? If you remember. So, yeah, lots of, oh God, it's 9:29, isn't it? So, yeah, lots of different techniques and things that I can perhaps try out. So, should be fun. And because this is a cheap, nasty diamond painting, if it goes wrong and I end up wrecking it, it's not really the end of the world, is it? because I won't be doing much with this when it's finished, because it's not an amazing diamond painting, and I don't think it's going to stir any memories for me. I mean, that wolf one, repairing it, is definitely worth watching. So Teresa says that we think Chris is doing the Eddie Stobart tomorrow. Natasha says Eddie Stobart. So Love Minis, yes, things here are crazy and I don't dare talk about it. Yeah, I'm learning a lesson at the moment. Don't talk about things. It's like, for example, I'll say to my driving partner, oh, it's been a really nice, pleasant trip with no events. And then we'll get 5 miles down the road and suddenly we got roadworks on the M1 and we're stuck there for half an hour. And he's gone, it's your fault, you just talked it up. So, yeah, so we learn not to talk about things. I know it's all superstition, but actually I got a story for you. So the other morning, we got into the hotel and we got in time for breakfast. And we sat down, and my driving partner, he drinks black coffee, and he spilt his coffee. An entire cup of coffee went all over the table and down his shirt. So he's got this big brown mark down his shirt. And I sat there and I said, I tell you what, I said, I'm not going to laugh at you because one day it could happen to me. And we got back the next day. Or was it the day before yesterday? I was running a little bit late. And I wolfed my coffee down just before I left the house. And bang, spilt it down my chin, couple of drops on my shirt. So, and I was in a rush. I had to get out the door. So I ended up going to work with a coffee stain on my shirt. And I said to him about it. I said, I wasn't going to laugh at you because I know it's going to happen to me one day, but I didn't expect it to happen this quick. And I said, at least you managed to get to the hotel before you spilt coffee all down your shirt. And then, was it this morning, like yesterday morning? He's drinking a drink, like one of these sports energy drinks. And I'll be honest with you, I just kind of drink, but he squeezes the drink out, and he squeezed too hard and it just went everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, I think you got a problem with drink there, haven't you? You just can't control it. So, but it was funny. But, you know, it's those little moments that make working quite good fun. Oh, do you know what? A little bit of red just gone on there. And all of a sudden we're like, whoa. So, let's get a cheat and put a little couple of extra bits. So, there we go. Little splash of red never hurt, does it? Right. And 9:30. Probably switch to a boring colour. That's not bad a colour, actually. So what is everybody up to? Are you most of you all sort of bedtime for you, or are you all night owls? I mean, obviously you got some guys that aren't from Britain, so we have our friends over in the pond living in the past. There's a little joke I used to have with, well, we haven't done that for a while, have we? Love Minis would message me and she'd say, what's it like in the future? Or what's going to happen at so-and-so. Right. So, yeah, as I say, we'll keep it simple. We'll probably just do this top section tomorrow. And then next week we'll get that cover paper sorted out. And I am struggling. It's the paper. I don't get on with it too well. So where are we up to? Ready still, but things are crazy. Mod Podge works quite well, but not always necessary. Teresa Smith, I've only ever done one painting in it as to secure it. I'm guessing if you're going to put something in a frame, you probably don't need to put Mod Podge on, because the actual glass from the frame is going to hold everything in, isn't it? I'm guessing. But if you're going to, say, for example, just put a picture frame around it, then I would say definitely put more. That way it's going to make it permanent then. And also you've got this this border, like down here, for example, that you can see it's got the sticky on there. Now, if I was to cut this to put it in a frame, I wouldn't cut it down there. I would actually leave the border so that the actual frame is going, you know, on top. So this sticky could cause a bit of an issue. Actually, there's another issue for you. This is something I'm gonna pick on this custom that I'm gonna get. How close is this border to the actual work area? Because if you want to put a photo frame on there and you want to leave a gap, you see, I can only leave a gap of that much. Otherwise, this is going to show. So there is a way around it, obviously, is that I could perhaps put something over the top there to cover that. But isn't it a lot easier if you don't have to cover it? Or is that just me being a bit picking on things just for the sake of picking on things? But, you know, isn't it a good critic who can find fault in anything? And then people just work harder and strive for perfection. Oh, I bloody hate this paper. I really do. I think I'm just at the point now I just want to do a sweep here and then just pick the colour I want. Right. Do you know what? I think I've done quite well today, given that, you know, I'm doing comments. And so, yes, I remember that project. It's been 12. It hasn't really been that long. So I am going to keep a secret, guys. I have a project that I'm going to do one day. And we have absolutely no idea if it's going to work or not. But I think if it works, it has the potential to completely revolutionize diamond painting. And that's all I'm saying. However, on the other hand, we could actually discover why no one's actually done it before. Crazy Night Owl here working on Wolf. Well, if you want to give me a call later on, we can always. I'm going to be up all night. Jeff Light, nearly sleepy time. Teresa Smith catching up on work. Poor old Teresa. She's one of those people that go to bed really late because of work, and then she gets up early to try and catch up on the work that she hasn't been able to do. And I suspect she's going to be up early in the morning because she's got to catch up on the work that she couldn't do earlier on, because I was calling her on Facebook. Do not put painting in the sun. No, don't want to do that. Right, Teresa, this one was the one I was talking about earlier for my son. Unfortunately, the drill started to pop, so it did need sealing, even though it's still... Right, so... Do you think Mod Podge is a personal preference? I know there's... I can't think of anything specific, but sometimes I'll do things not because I need to do it, but because it's... Oh, there you go. Primer on my models. I don't need to put primer on every model, but I do put primer on because it's just a habit. And if the primers, it's, you know, with the Mod Podge, would it hurt to put Mod Podge on every diamond painting, whereas it would hurt to not Mod Podge it if it needed it? if that makes any sense whatsoever. So yes, when you was over here last year, yeah. Do you know what? So it's been a year since I've seen you in person. That's terrible, isn't it? I'm gonna have to come down and see you. I'll be up at 5 most likely. I'm actually, well, normally I'd say on a day off, that's probably a nice time for me to go to bed. That's a nice early to bed, but not so early it knocks me out of night shift. But unfortunately, I've got to be in Glasgow at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I have an appointment which I'm not going to discuss too much on my stream, because why not? Right, Mark asked me, am I on Facebook, as we could share? Yes, right. So if you go on to Facebook and look up Penny Blake, but to make it easy, if you put the URL Lady Phoenix UK, you will see a picture of a horrible person on the beach, or you'll see a picture of a motorbike. I can't remember what my Facebook profile looks like. Let me pull it up. So that means I need my... I bought this new keyboard, and it's a Bluetooth keyboard. It's really heavy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so if you were to look me up on Facebook, share screen. That's what my Facebook picture looks like, which is pretty obvious, really, isn't it? I'm a bus driver, and there's a bus. So, yeah, so, yeah, and, you know, I could go into disclaimers and things and go, oh, if you're this, that, the other, yeah, I'm not a Facebook friend collector, but I'm more contacts rather than friends on Facebook, if that didn't come across too badly. I've heard there was a spray too. Now, that's now given me an idea, because if PVA glue works as well as Mod Podge, now that you've just changed the concept there, that I could put PVA glue into a spray bottle, and you've got a cheap but effective, easy to use sealant. So, right, last time you was over was just, do you know what? I remember that now, because you gave me a load of lovely Christmas presents, and I've got to find that up now, because it said something. What was it? Gamers don't die, they just, or something. I can't remember what it said now. I'm gonna have to find that up now. And oh, I'll tell you what else I've got, and I can find this. This was my awesome Christmas present. Yeah, I've just said that. I don't know if I can find it. Give me a second, guys. I know I've got it. You know what, guys? Rather than me spending 10 minutes trying to find it, I'll find it for tomorrow's show. It's an absolutely beautiful. It's a diamond painting on a frame, but it's got LEDs in it, and you can turn it on, and it's just got like twinkling stars on it, and it's just a minor touch, but it adds so much to it. And obviously I don't know what it cost, but from what I gather, it wasn't like massively expensive. You know, really good gift for really good item to do. Right, so yeah, that may, because PVA glue, you can thin it and put it in a spray bottle. The only fear I would have is that if you're making it thin enough to go through a spray bottle, but you want it as a sealant, it's not probably going to be thick enough. So you might have to apply multiple layers, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 layers, you know, and would people be prepared to do that? You know, I don't know. So yeah, you're almost done, Tash. I've seen them online, and I'm still I'm still sitting looking at my tiger. I think you always look at your tiger one, aren't you, Teresa? Having said that, I do remember you saying it was one of your diamond paintings. You were saying a lot, "Oh, I've got to get on with it," and you were always saying that. And then all of a sudden, you said, "Oh, I managed to finish it," and I'm like, "Hey." So, right. These are the bits that I really like. It's quite time consuming, but you can't see it so much there. But there's the drills that I'm doing here are just a slightly different shade of blue than the previous ones, and it brings the color in gently rather than these harsh blocks of color. Make sure I know where I am. Right, I'm just looking for X's. I'm determined that each color I use now I use for the last time, because I do miss them out. In fact, there's some there that I can just slip in, I think. You know, I'm not going to be bothered about ripping this because I'm going to be pulling it all off next week anyway. I think that's an X. I did catch that a little bit with the Sharpie. Right, just not got the room to get any kits out at the minute. Yeah, that is the problem, isn't it? I think we need to clear you a space, and then we say, right, this has nothing to do with the business. This is purely personal area. But I think I know you too well. I don't think that'll last that long, will it? I'll just pop you, a bit like me in that sense. I'll just pop this there. Right. So, SSS. Yeah, that's I think this is quite good for 2 sessions, actually. The bit I did off camera to get some of this in, that was only about an hour's work. And obviously I can get through it quicker off camera, because obviously I'm not stopping and chatting. You just kind of just crack on, don't you? And oh, that'd be really good. Teresa says Mike's trying to sort part of the kitchen out. Do you know what? And I also think, you know, if you got up and moved to a different part where, you know, this is specifically for this area, I don't think that does anyone any harm, does it? Because if you do everything in the same area, it kind of loses all meaning. You know, it's like my bedroom is my sleep and rest area, and my kitchen is my cooking area, and this is my craft area. I know that's probably didn't make sense, but yeah, if you have a little area where you go there and you're not even thinking about work while you're there, I think that might not do any harm whatsoever. Right, H. Right, I think I am done with the 820s for this session. I am confident. I don't know. Is anyone else like that? Do you go, right, I'm going to fill all of this in this particular colour, and then you think you've got every single one, and then you work on another colour, and then you go, oh, I missed one out from earlier. Or is it just me? I might actually make some more of these up, these little trays, and then I might just, you know, pop a little sticker on for the number and then have a few colours out so I can just switch the colours. But to be honest with you, this system works really well for me. So I'm just going to get the old head in and have a look. 336 7. There we go, there's a couple up there. My eyesight isn't quite as good as it was 20-30 years ago. I'm experimenting with the idea. I'm going to have some new glasses soon. I'm doing a bit of a naughty. I've joined one of these healthcare plans at work, where you can you have it deducted out your wages, and you can do claims on certain things. And I've worked out that I can actually claim more in glasses in a year than I actually pay into the plan. So I kind of fully intend to take use of that. But they did say to me, just wait a couple of months before actually making your first claim. And plus, I didn't have the money. The glasses that I want are about 400 quid. You know, by the time I got varifocals in, and one pair is going to have reaction lenses and one's going to have polarized. Because the trouble with not a lot of people seem to know this. Reactions. Well, obviously you can't drive in the dark with heavy sunglasses on, but also reactions don't work in a vehicle, because reactions work by the UV from the sun, and it reacts to that UV. And modern windscreens have UV filters in them, so not many of the UV beams are coming through into the car. So therefore your glasses aren't picking it up. So your glasses aren't going to go dark because of the filters in the windscreen. So you do, if you've got glasses for driving, you want either, well, prescription sunglasses. But then when you're outside of your car, your vehicle, your reactions are good, because the amount that they go dark is based on how much sun there is. So if there isn't an awful lot of sun, they don't go that dark. Although it is really freaky when you go outside when it's snowing in the winter and you got this snow on the ground, and suddenly your glasses go absolutely black because it's, you know, the beam off the snow. But one thing I'm experimenting with the idea of, I had a quick chat with the opticians, is you can get those hobby glasses, and they've got like 3.5 times magnifying glass on them. So if you're doing things like figure painting or models, you can see better. And I went to the opticians and I said, like, is there a possibility of having the varifocals, but have the top half my normal reading, not my normal lenses for glasses, but instead of having reading for my bottom half, have those as a 3.5 times magnification lens, so that I can wear my ordinary glasses for doing hobby, look through the top of them for ordinary looking, look through the bottom half for when I'm hobbying, and I got my close-up lens then. And they went, well, in theory, possibly yes, but you kind of got to work out what lens you want. Because when you use a magnifying glass, you don't have it close to your eyes, do you? You have it further away. So I've got to kind of work out by holding a magnifying glass. I've got the lenses, but I haven't got the glasses anymore. So what I'm going to do is sort of experiment with them by holding them right close to my eyes and seeing if, because a 3.5 magnifying isn't really that good if you're holding it. You need to hold that away from your face a little bit. But I thought, interesting idea, isn't it? Instead of having to put glasses on to do a hobby, why not have a pair of glasses that have got that lens in it, but have it as a varifocal or a bifocal, so that, if you want to read the instructions of the magazine or something, you can look through the top bit of your glasses and then look at the bottom bit to actually do the work. So we'll see how that one goes. And obviously I can do a bit of a naughty, because I've got prescription lens going in. I might be able to slip that onto my healthcare plan. So, yeah. You know me, I come up with these weird and wacky ideas. Sometimes they work. More often than not, they don't. Right, so I have been forgotten to style comments. I'll show you the tiger tomorrow, Tash. Mike's trying to sort part of the kitchen. We have FSS in this house, flat surface syndrome. Yeah, I know, there's an allergy to flat syndromes in your house, isn't it? It brings you out in something or another. I'm going to be a little bit anal here, a little bit OCD, and I'm going to remove that drill for the pure reason that it's the only one on a line. I know that's counterproductive, but it looks neat now. Look, it was just there. So now I've got this absolutely square. Sorry, that's just a little bee being a little bit funny there. Right, let's go for 902 next, which is the case. You know, you get to that end of the square and you just want one or two of each colour drill. And that's kind of the stage I'm at now. But we will get this done. I promised you I'll fill this square in before I finish. And at least I'll have something that looks fairly reasonable. So that all of that for 2 drills. So, right. So, I always miss them every single night time. I usually do that all the time. Back, sorry, had to send a video. No problems. Mike, do you have a copy of the wolf picture I'm working on to show Penny? I looked at my phone, haven't got it. And then Donnie John, hello. Hi, Penny. Hope everything is okay. Everything is fabulous. And I mean just about everything. I'm enjoying things while I can, because you know what life is like. Life goes, you're having a really wonderful time at the moment. I'm going to do something about it. Not that I complain, because I think the bad times in life help you appreciate the good times in life. If it's good times in life all the time, they then become ordinary, don't they? So, but yeah, life right now is fab. The only thing that could improve my life more is if my boss suddenly says to me, do you know what, Penny? We've got way too many staff. How do you fancy having 6 months off on full pay? And then we'll just call you in occasionally, once or twice a week, just for a little bit of overtime, which of course you'll get paid for. That's the only way my life could be any better right now. So, sorry, I forgot the number that I want. T. There we go. And I had a feeling there was going to be just the one. Right. So, Mike sent to Penny. Yay, thank you, Mike. So I've got to do a screen share now, haven't I? I presume this is for public viewing, isn't it? Oh my God, do you really want me to share that? No, I'm just joking. That is actually fabulous. I'm going to share that whether you're happy for me to or not. So this is gone flickery. Why is that gone flickery? There we go. That is fabulous, isn't it? That is absolutely amazing. That's one of those things where just it's mostly white, but if you look a little bit closer, there's what, about 6 shades of light color there, maybe more. It's quite subtle, but that purple just sets that off really nice. Do you know what? Is that an actual pre-made ready one to go, or is that a custom? Because that looks really, really nice. And if it's a custom, can I steal it? Or steal it, you know. use it myself, because that's rather nice. And how big is that, Natasha? I guess you wouldn't need to make that massive, you know, have to make it massive, because it doesn't. So when you've got a lot of fine detail in it, you need to make it bigger to show that detail off. But I would imagine you'd have got away with a really small one on that one if you wanted, you know, and you have the choice to make it big just because you want something bigger. So but it looks like it's not that many colors. Right, so yay, will be even better when it's done. Well, they always are, aren't they? I mean, look, the little that I've done here, if you look at the bit that I've done and the bit that I haven't done, you know, it's just what's going on there. Oh, look, I only spotted that because it was on camera. But one of the drills was just, the shimmer didn't look quite right. It turns out I've got a drill in upside down. I don't know if you spotted that one as well. There you go. So I was saying last week about how they shimmer rather than sparkle. And I didn't really have enough in to show that off. But look, you can see it now. And then if I get my wolf one, because this is a square, so can you see it behaves a little bit differently, whereas this one is more of a, it's almost like that's twinkling, isn't it? But this one is, it's different, isn't it? You can see the difference because this is a square drill and that one's a round drill, and it's because when they're square they can be cut a little bit different. So right, custom, of course you can. Yeah, I might have that. Maybe, yeah, maybe just I'll wait for you to start it, but I think a 40 by 40 would probably be perfect. And then Teresa's there's some surprises in store on it too. Oh, now see, now your idea of a surprise and my idea of a surprise is totally different. I mean, what I would call a surprise is if your diamond paint suddenly went, oh, I can see you're a bit thirsty there, I made you a cup of coffee. 37 colors. That, yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. Well, yeah, thinking about it, 37 colors. Let's have a look. Yeah, because if you look at the different shading, you know, and I can see there the way that the purple comes in. That's got to be what, 5 or 6 shades of purple at minimum. Oh, look at the nose. You got your obligatory. Is that 310s? Yeah, as I say, I call it white because obviously on the whole, it's a light shade, isn't it? And that's obviously a white wolf. But you know, anyone who does any painting knows that there really isn't such thing as white. You know, when you paint white, you're actually painting grey, and then you're putting white highlights on the very tips. But obviously it's referred to as white, isn't it? Because that's the effect. But something I remember mentioning before is the way that the colours blend. You get like, say, a red, and you place that red next to a white. That's going to look completely different from the very same shade of red placed next to, say, black. So if you're placing reds next to lighter shades of reds, again, it's going to come out differently. But that looks a really good. It's one of those things that you look at it and your initial thought is, well, that's just pretty much all the same color. And then you look a little bit closer and you go, actually, it's not. But when you say there's 37 colors, it's more colors than you think. So yeah, so 9 or 10, that's 9 or 10 purples. See, maybe that's why I like the look of it, because it's got purples. So Mark Fit, right, I'm now going to go. Good night all, have enjoyed. Well, I hope to see you again, Mark, and if you want to drop me a message on Facebook, yeah, by all means. And then Mike Tedstone says, Mark Fit, good night. Well, look, I'm almost finished. I've done this bit here. That's completely blocked in. So I'm just going to finish this little bit here. There's about 4 colours left to do. And that's me done on that. But I did say the stream will be about 2 to 3 hours. But you know me. I can turn a 5-minute conversation into a 3-hour show. And I don't think that's always a bad thing, isn't it? It can be, but anyway, so I know I haven't finished yet, but thank you very much for turning this into an enjoyable evening, guys. I know it's me streaming on my... Why can't I find G? I can't find G because that's not a G, that's a C. That would do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, I know it's me streaming on my own, but I do try and insist on this being a two-way show, and you guys are involved in this show as much as I am, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah. Do you know what? I started this last week, and the one I was actually looking for, I knew I had a Yoda one. And not Baby Yoda. I know Baby Yoda is the fashionable thing right now, but I had a full-on proper Yoda one. And anyone who knows me knows I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'll show you a couple of my finished ones that are a bit more Well, I'll show you my finished ones, actually. But I actually found it tonight, the Yoda one. And I'm like, too late. I've already started this one. I'm not going to start another one before I finish the first one. I have done that a few times, and it's not really the way I want to go. Right, so this is the very last drill that I'm going to be doing tonight, unless something happens. But right, so this is where I'm up to then after two stream sessions. I'll just pull back this paper a little bit so you can see it better. And yeah, it's not the most interesting part of the painting, but every bit as important as the detail. But I am going to be a bit naughty, and I am going to work. Let me pull the camera up a little bit so you can see the mess on my desk. So I am a little bit more about, I'll do the outside because I think that's the less interesting bit. And then once you see, I've just got a little touch of red there. And it's just made it exciting because it's like, oh, where's that red going to lead to? So I'll do around the outside, and then we'll work our way in the middle, and then it'll get lots of fun then. But you can now see the difference. I mean, that bit there, it looks good. It looks okay, doesn't it? But once you've actually got the drills on, it's just a lot. Now you start to see the shading on the forehead. And that's really nice. That's really set that off. So let me grab you a couple of... what's this? You've only been on 30 minutes. Yeah, okay. Is that why my little timer is saying 2 hours, 33 minutes and 44 seconds? Are you saying my time is wrong? Right, so I'm just grabbing some of my old diamond paintings. So I might as well have a look. So this is one of the first ones that I've done. This is, I'll call this the first proper one. And this one actually, this is what got me discovering Smith's beads, because one of the colours was completely missing. And rather than, the guy said, look, I can get you the drills, but because they come from China, it's going to take a few weeks. So I had a little look on eBay and I found Smith's beads. I didn't know they were Smith's beads at the time, but obviously they could deliver in a few days. What's this? I've just had a bing bong. So, I'm going to have to show this. So, yeah, right. Okay. So we were looking at Natasha's wolf. She's now actually sent me a picture of what she has done. And that's looking absolutely stunning. Look at that subtle bit of purple coming in there. That is amazing. I want that. I'm having that as a diamond painting. So trying to just get off my screen. Here we go. So yeah, this is one of my the first diamond painting that I did was a dream catcher, and I framed that and I gave that to my landlady at the time. And my second one, it was just a really cheap, nasty one. It was all right, but that was obviously I discovered that it was only like a 20 by 20 or 25 by 25, and it had quite a lot of detail in it. It really was quite blocky. And the second one I had was a baby Yoda, which I have got somewhere, but for some unknown reason, he was blue, not green. But this one was, I bought this on eBay. Now this was called Spitfire, and looking at bits of it, it comes across a little bit more as a hurricane to me. Look at this wing. It doesn't look Spitfire. I mean, it might just be the angle. And then this one makes me laugh. This was a nice one, but this was called Lancaster, and that quite clearly is a Wellington bomber. But it is nice because you've got that lovely sky in the background. A lot of damage down here where it's been bent, but this could all be picked out and redone. But yeah, look, you've got the explosion. This could do with being bigger. This is a 40 by 30. This really needs to be bigger. But it's okay. That's probably about the minimum size you can go. But yeah, things like this, some of the details are a little bit hidden. It gets a little bit hairy down here, but it's nice. So this is my first Star Wars related one, and this is also my first round that I've done, and I really did enjoy this. This bit not so much, but you could kind of see things coming in there. But this was a very enjoyable one to do, even though this is a cheap and nasty one. It was a good one. I think might have been got on Amazon. This one, it was called Girl and Dragon, but we all know what it actually is, and it's, to call that Game of Thrones or Daenerys would be a bit of an insult, but it's kind of pushing that way. But that was quite a nice one to do. And this one, I actually did this as a take to the hotel project. And as you can see, I've not actually finished it. So that's one to finish. But this is my R2-D2, and that one I did enjoy. And I actually quite enjoyed the background, funnily enough. All of that white. When you're here, there's so many colours. Progression is really, really, really slow. Because you've got a few, like you see here, look, all these different colours. And if you find yourself getting a bit bogged down with all the detail, just chuck in a little bit of this and you can get a big chunk done in not much time at all. So that was quite nice. And that's all the ones that I can show you. But yeah, that wolf is definitely my favourite. And I want to get that one framed. And I've got a few bus pictures. I was taking pictures of my buses when I was doing agency work. And I want to get those done. Because they're quite good memories. I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna get my phone work. So gallery, camera. There we are. So back in the day, each bus that I drove, and that one was really nice. I was really happy with the picture. Sorry, I can't get the focus in. But that's one of my buses I did. And I want to get that done as a custom. There you go. There's the first one. First one that I did. That's the Dreamcatcher. It wasn't special. I don't know if I've got the size written on it. But that was a very, see, we put it in the picture frame. And that was nice. So there we go. There's another one of my buses. That's quite nice. That's another one. That's the 335 to Kidbrooke. That's the back end of the 4299. 401. That's the Wolf one again. 386. That's one of the ones I did at Dartford. I hope I've still got the picture. Please, I hope I've got the picture. Sorry, I'm just looking at my camera off screen because I don't know what picture's coming next, you see. That might be a good one. That's my front door. That's as I moved into this house as it was then. And that's the view from my balcony. I'm not going to do that as a diamond painting. It's a bit too much of the bins there. Right, so this is all pictures of my... Jesus Christ, that room looked empty. Let me... Oh yeah, look, here's some more buses. That's me 26 at night time. Don't know if that'll work well. And there's me 23 in the daytime. That's McGill buses. And I've got a picture somewhere of... There we go. So I think, is that the one that I'm using? That might be the one that I'm using as my custom that's coming. But Mike has blurred out some of the background. I mean, it's not a bad background, but by blurring it, it really draws attention more onto the actual subject. But there's a couple more pictures I've taken. We were at one point, that's why I took pictures of checks. I think that's it. Oh, and there's one we did the other night with my driving partner there, getting the bus ready. So yeah, that's my boring little life for you. So yeah, right, let's do a little bit of a catch up. So I sent you a picture how much I've done, but I've covered some of it. What time is it over there? 6:35. So if Penny's starting at 10 p.m. Oh, I like your style there. Yeah, he's making out I've got another 3 hours and 25 minutes to do. Yeah, okay, let me change my camera because I'm done with the camera down now. There we go. All right, so 11 minutes true. Tasha's laughing. Tasha, I can't work with rounders. That's exactly how I am. I like the squares because sometimes with the rounds you can get them slightly out of alignment and they'll go. But with the squares, they have to be in spot on. Otherwise they push other ones out and it makes the whole picture solid. But you know, for as many people that like squares, you know, there's probably about as many people that hate squares. I know World of Mike, he claims to prefer round ones. And that's fine. That's his choice. I prefer square. And it's, you know, some people prefer a sparkle, some people prefer a shimmer. Tasha, R2D2, I love you. I liked it. And Mike says yes. And Natasha, not boring. It's your unique life. Well, this is what I try to do. It's I try to share my stories and my fun and my bad times. I've just pulled my lead out of the light bulb. For some, I don't know if that's normal. Has anyone else got a light pad? Does yours get really, really hot really quickly? Saying that, it's cooling down rather quickly as well. So I don't know. That just don't seem That don't, because I know LEDs, they don't really heat up that much, do they? So, but yeah, so what I'm going to do off camera, probably at some point tonight, I'm going to just cut some squares along. I might do a little bit at the top, and then next week, Teresa knows how to cheer me up all the time. This is what she says when I'm on a downer. This is what she'll come up with. Being you is why people come in and watch you. Yeah, I will agree with that, because there's a lot of shows that I watch, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not actually watching the show for the subject matter. I'm actually watching it for the, it depends what mood you're in. But I mean, a classic example is Nigel's modelling bench. I don't really care for what he's building. I just like watching him build it, and that's the joy I get out of his channel. There's other channels that I don't really care too much for the people. I'm watching it for the subject matter. And, I think watching me put on a bit of diamond painting is, because it unfolds so slowly, I think that's quite boring. But this is more of a little chat. It's like Mrs. Coffee I enjoy watching. You can't really watch the diamond painting because it's unfolding so slowly, but I love listening to her stories about her and her husband and her kids and what they've been up to. And it's almost like sitting in the coffee shop and having a little bit of a cup of coffee and an hour with her. And that's kind of what I'm hoping I'm getting across with this. I do my pre-recorded videos where it's all about the builds, and I'm doing my lives where it's all about the chilling and relaxing. So I have done nearly 3 hours, which is probably normal for a 2-hour stream. I've actually got 6 of you who are still here, all of you watching on my channel. I'll do the obligatory like, share, subscribe, guys. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I've got a lot of work to do in the meantime, like building an F-14 Tomcat, downloading a FIFA 23 on the PlayStation. I can't wait. To be honest with you, when I know I'm going to bore most of you now, I do like my FIFA on PlayStation, and I find my personal opinion of it is you don't need to buy the game every year. The changes are quite subtle, but buy it like every 2 or 3 years. But there's one change that they've done. The latest one, FIFA 22, I did get annoyed with it because there was a lot of aesthetic. Didn't affect. It was fun to play, but it was some of the aesthetics were quite frustrating, and some people might disagree with me. Like when you used to recruit you used to build a player up through the youth squad, and you'd have to wait 2 or 3 seasons for him to come, and then you put him into the first team, and his number and his name doesn't come up on the back of the shirt, and it just doesn't look right. Doesn't affect the gameplay or anything, and some people would be like, oh, that don't make a difference, but it's just things just have to look nice, I think. But one thing that for me they fixed with FIFA 23, I haven't played it yet. I don't play on a really hard level. I don't care about the challenge. I just play it just to chill out, and I'm quite happy winning 6-0 and not putting the skill level up. That don't bother me, and say what you like about me. And this is why I don't stream computer games very often, is because I do play on an easier level. And I would imagine that if you're watching computer gamers, you want to watch them smashing the opponent on a really hard level, because I try to watch people that are better than me and try and learn something off them. So that's why I don't stream my computer games, because do you really want to watch someone winning 12-0 on easy level? But You get to like half time and you're like 10-0 up, and you're like, I just want to skim past the second half, but you can't, because you know that if you simulate the score, you'll probably win like 10-2. And you're like, so now your keeper hasn't got a clean sheet. So if you want your keeper to come out with the most clean sheets in the season, you've got to play full 90 minutes. Now, one of the features they've got on FIFA 23 is simulated highlights. So you simulate the game, and then every time there's a goal scoring opportunity, either for you or your opponent, it then cuts into the game and you play the game. And then as soon as that match bit is over, it then carries on simulating. So the game is simulated. But so if you're playing against a really hard opponent, you might find yourself with 10 defending opportunities and 1 attacking opportunity. So you've got to work really hard to get the win. But if you're up against an easy opponent, you might find yourself with 10 or 15 goal scoring opportunities and maybe only 1 or 2 defending. So either team can still win, but it means you haven't got to go, oh, I've been at this for 5 minutes and I've still got 5 minutes left. Let's simulate the game, simulate the result. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. And because the beta has been out a few days now, I'm already hearing about comments about certain play, so I can actually go straight in and then actually see for myself. And I've got 2 nights off now, so I can play it to death. So let's have a look. So how's that color printer doing? The color printer is actually really good, except I have this problem, and I'll show you. The black cartridge, I can't remember how to open this now. I have this black line keeps appearing there. I keep wiping this and cleaning it. And as a result, when you print a document off, it has this black line, black area on the prints. And it actually it comes out looking like you've photocopied the original on a poor quality photocopier. And I think the way around that is just to buy a new black cartridge. So I'm not quite ready, because I've got my inkjet printer. Of all the things, obviously you have a list of things that you need to buy, and you always buy the highest priority thing first. And I haven't got the money yet to buy absolutely everything that I need, and that's a lower priority than, say, paying the bills. But I'm also waiting. The company that I use for my inkjet printers, cartridges, they do sell the toners for that, and it's £100 to get the full set of 4. But every now and again, maybe once every 2 or 3 months, they have a flash sale, 20% off. Now, if you're buying cartridges at like 3 or 4 quid each, 20% off isn't a massive saving. But when it's 100 quid for the lot, you want to take advantage. That's 20 quid off. That's a lot of money. That's that's a couple of figures or something, isn't it? Or a dime. That's half of my custom diamond painting paid for. So when I've got the money for it, I'm going to keep that money aside. And as soon as they have a flash sale, I'm like, bang, I'm going to get that toner cartridge. And then if that still doesn't fix it, I'll just take it down to a repair shop. I think maybe where the printer's been moved about, it's sort of affected the toner or something. But if I have to take it down to a printer shop to have a look at, maybe it needs a good clean out or something. The printer didn't cost me any money, so if I need to spend sort of 30, 40 quid having it cleaned. It's still a bargain, I think. The other thing is, I was saying about my healthier lifestyle. I got a little blender thing. It's basically a liquidizer, but it comes with a sports bottle, and you put everything into the sports bottle, and then you put the actual chopper blade thing at the top, put it in, spin it round, and then you take the blade out and you put the lid on. And it's a really convenient way for me to have breakfast. I do struggle with breakfast, and I know it's not the best way of getting your 5 a day. They say juicing isn't as good as eating the actual fruit, for example. You know, it's better to eat an orange than it is to have a glass of orange juice. But having a glass of orange juice is better for you than not having any orange at all. So what I've started, just bear with me a sec, I'm just going to close the door. So what I've been doing every morning is chopping up either an apple or a pear, chucking an Actimel, one of these probiotic yogurt things, and then chucking maybe half a banana, and then I like to buy sort of 2 or 3 pellets of fruit, and then put a handful of 2 pellets. So one day I might get raspberries and blueberries, and then the next day I might get blueberries and strawberries, and then maybe the day after be strawberries and raspberries. And then I'll just stick it all in the blender, and it's just quite convenient to sit there with a bottle drinking it. You know, I can do it as I'm getting ready, I'm getting dressed, to get dressed, whatever. So at least it's getting something in me. Now, my lodger, he buys quite a lot of yogurt. Now, this is a very, very new venture for me. I'm putting Actimel, you know, those little mini pots of yogurt. You drink them in the morning. It's supposed to put healthy bacteria into your gut. And I buy them. I suffer from IBS. I say suffer. I have IBS. And the doctor, obviously now I'm in Scotland, I get free prescriptions. But when I was in England, my medication for IBS, they used to give me a 2-week supply, and it was costing me, like, you might know, Natasha, what's the cost of a prescription in England these days? 10 quid. So you're spending 10 quid every couple of weeks. And I actually found that, because IBS is a very individual thing, what's a bad food for you might not be for someone else. Now, I found that buying Actimels actually had a fairly similar result to having medication. So, and surely having a yogurt for like £1.50's worth of yogurt a week has got to be better for you than having an artificially made medication. So natural yogurt and the odd bit of bacon and the odd egg helps an awful lot. So I always chuck that yogurt in for that reason. And then I'm not one of these that can put vegetables into a liquidizer and then top it up with water. I'm a bit first world, you know, plain water. So I prefer something with a bit of flavour. So I kind of make milkshakes from it. But because I'm putting yogurt in, I'm thinking, well, what if I get a yogurt maker? So I bought this yogurt maker, and I've been watching a few YouTube videos, and they say to make this yogurt, yeah, there you go, look, nearly £10. So if I actually have my IBS medication, it's free now, but because I'm in Scotland. But you know, if you're only getting 2 weeks supply, it's £5 a week. Whereas for about 2 quid, I can get a week's worth of strawberry flavoured yogurt. Per item. It's not £10 per prescription. So if you're on like 4 different medications, that could be 20 quid a week. You know, and if you're on a low income, this is why people don't take medications. This is why I do honestly believe in the free prescriptions, because I think prevention is better than cure. it's cheaper for the NHS to give you free prescriptions than it is to wait for you to come into A&E because you've got a problem because you've not been taking your medication. You know, get it sorted out at the source rather than curing it. So re-tagged your schedule live on landing page of the website. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I will chuck some dates at you later on. I don't want to sit here on stream and go, oh, these are my dates for the next 3-4 weeks, because I think it's just going to be too confusing. So what I wasn't able, I forgot to do it, but I did actually want to set the show up a couple of days earlier, because it's far easier if you've got something in advance. But I managed to put tomorrow's show up, and then what I'll do is after tomorrow's show, I'll put next week's shows up. So there'll be 3 shows, so people will be able to see those earlier. So yeah, so get back. It's so I've got this yogurt maker coming tomorrow afternoon. So that's something to chat about on the show. I don't think I'll actually have any. It takes 8 to 10 hours or something. You put this milk in these little jars, and you switch this machine on. It does all the temperatures and everything, and it takes 8 to 10 hours. So if it comes early, then I'll get straight in there and I'll make a batch, and then I can show you my yogurt on stream. But I watched one video, and it said you can either add this, it's like a starter culture to the milk, and or you can add live yogurt to it. So I'm thinking, does that mean that I can make a batch of yogurt, and then if I save some of it, I can then add that yogurt to the next batch as the starter culture, if it's the right kind of yogurt. So you can go out and buy plain yogurt, and they did actually specifically say in this video, I know it sounds odd that you have to buy yogurt in order to make yogurt, but the reason you're buying it is because it's got the live cultures in it, but it's like yeast, isn't it? I know there's a recipe for a thing called friendship cake, and it's got this yeast in it. And what happens is you wait for it to expand in 4 times its size. Then you cut it into 4. One bit you use to make your own cakes. You add all the fruit and everything to it. And then you give 3 away. And because there's a little bit of culture in it, they then let it expand 4 times its size. So it just keeps going on and on. I guess it's the same principle with the yogurt. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it might well be that once I've made my first batch of yogurt, yeah, there we go. So yeah, they do that for sourdough bread. So yeah, because you've got the cultures in there, so long as you don't kill the cultures, and you kill the cultures by cooking the bread, but so long as you don't kill it, you can use some of it to then make something else. So I'm guessing that's the principle. So I probably have to buy something to make my first yogurt. But I thought, let's put yogurt, because I guess Actimel is just essentially watered down live yogurt. That's why it's obviously the gut bacteria maybe that's what my IBS is. It's not that I've got a problem. It's just that I'm not eating enough good stuff for the bacteria to be working in my gut. I don't know. So, but in any case, by eating a little bit, I still eat junk food, and I think most people are guilty of eating junk food. But if your diet is primarily better stuff, then you can enjoy the junk food a bit more, can't you? So if I have the odd sausage roll, if you're eating 2 or 3 sausage rolls every day, and that's part of your diet, that's a problem. I had a McDonald's today. I finished work and I was hungry, and I just nipped into McDonald's and I had a breakfast roll, which is basically a roll with a bit of sausage and a bit of bacon and hash brown with a cup of vanilla coffee. I think the last McDonald's I had was about 4 months ago. But yeah, on the whole, my diet's pretty good. So I'm just trying to make little subtle changes to it, and I think I feel a little bit better for it. And I've always found when you cook a little bit better, you don't just feel better physically, it can actually do a lot for your mental state as well. Sorry, I'm doing that thing when I'm looking at the monitor. The camera's over there. Normally I have the monitor there, so I'm looking at you. I'm not actually looking at you, I'm looking at the monitor. But because the monitor's in the same position as the camera, it looks like I'm looking in the camera. So yeah, I'm sorry I keep looking away. I did say at the beginning I'd end up doing that. But yeah, I do find that eating a better diet does give you a better mental state of mind as well as physical. And who knows, I might even go as far as, get ready for this, joining the gym. I know, big step. But yeah, and also eating better food, you can enjoy your junk food more, can't you? Don't you find if you eat nothing but junk food, it gets a little bit ordinary, doesn't it? And then, what was it I had the other day? I've been eating things like, you get these, I think they're called Naked, and they're like little bars, and they're just made of fruit and nut. They just pulp down fruit and nut. And then you might get one with banana flavouring, and one's mostly cashew nut, and another one is, and they're all nice and healthy bars. But I bought myself a bar of, I just fancied a little bit of chocolate, and it was a chocolate covered marshmallow bar, and oh boy did I enjoy that. And it's just something I've not had for a long time. So right guys, I'm off ski now, so I've got a few things to do. I would be absolutely honoured if you could join me tomorrow night, 10 p.m. UK time. Hopefully we can have a show that's, I think, as fun as tonight has been. I'd like to thank Smith Speeds for helping with this show. You've done a lot of work for me, and that's just nice when... oh God, sorry, Loveman, just brought that up. I remember that very well. We had an incident at Newport where the bus wash had broken, and the buses were getting filthy because they weren't being washed. And they asked for volunteers to come in on a Sunday and wash these buses. And I thought, yes, to get paid for playing with a pressure washer, what could be more fun? I did not realise at the time how much hard work a pressure washer is, because once you hit that trigger, the force of the water, the recoil is really bad, and you're really having to push. And to do that for about 8 hours, I have got so much respect for bus cleaners, just for that. I mean, don't ever use a pressure washer with one hand. It's like, whoa! So, but I was in pain for a few days after that. I'll never forget that. So, but yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so thank you to Smith Speeds. I feel very honoured to be able to say my show is sponsored by them. So if you could give a little bit of love back to them, and at the very least, just have a little look at their website. If there isn't don't have to buy anything that doesn't work for you, but if you do see anything you like and you want to buy it, penny 15 at the checkout, and they'll give you 15% off, which, as I said last week, I think is extremely generous. They have given me a 10% code off, and like I said, when Mike said last week, do you want a discount code? I'm like, yeah, I'll always take a discount code. And I was expecting it to be 5 or 10%. With the cost of living at the moment, I wouldn't have been shocked if they give me 5% off because you know, profit margins and things. I bet everyone's being squeezed. So yeah, 15% off. Take advantage of it. It's a really generous discount. So last thing I need to say then is I'll probably end up speaking to you anyway. I'll chuck you 30 quid to Smith's Beads tomorrow, and if you could sort me out some release paper and then just make an order up to about 30 quid, and just chuck me. You don't have to chuck me diamond paintings or anything you don't, because obviously I've got one coming, but just chuck a few things that I can show off on stream. And yeah, we'll sort a few little things out. So, and then I've got some content then for next week's show. And I just realized I've got a calendar on my I download the Airfix do a calendar, like a wallpaper calendar, and they do a new one every month, and I've still got the July one up, which has got the mosquito, and we're halfway through August. Right guys, so thank you very much for watching. I actually want a outro video. I need to make an outro video rather than just cutting the show dead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my alternative intro as an outro, but at least then it's a nice way. At least I'm not ending the show abruptly. So guys, thank you very much for watching and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. I also appreciate the scale model fans coming over and giving a little bit of support. That means a lot to me, because obviously, you know, the scale modelers are obviously more interested in my scale model videos, and I don't expect everyone to be interested in all my videos. So for them to take the time out to watch my diamond painting, it really does mean a lot to me. And it's nice to meet old people that I've bumped into. I just hope we haven't had any fights at Norwich. No, he would have said something, wouldn't he? Right, so guys, I will catch you tomorrow. So take care, everybody.
Now, Sir Ivan, if you will press this switch over when I say now, that will open our station. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!